Notre Dame starts 2024 with a bang over Texas A&M.
We welcome you back to Notre Dame Stadium for number 16 Texas A&M and number 8 Notre Dame. A packed house and a beautiful night for football. In the 7th meeting between these two schools, you saw Notre Dame eke out a victory last year, and both schools were honest. Both coaching staffs and players understood how close and how different that outcome last year in College Station could have been.
Yeah, a couple turnovers that went in favor of Notre Dame, a couple explosive plays that went in the favor of the Irish, the difference in the ball game.
Marcus Freeman and Mike Elko, third straight year that they will play against one another. In 2023, it was Notre Dame and Duke. Last year, these two teams. And now Freeman's team, looking for their first win coming off an early season bye week, is happy to be back in the friendly confines of Notre Dame Stadium. Here come the Irish. A&M rolling out, and you see the captain, Armajé Reed-Adams. He always brings out that chair and brings out the energy as we go to KT.
Coach, it's been nearly 2 weeks since your loss at Miami. What was the major focus point of emphasis for this to get a win tonight?
Well, it's about elevating. It's about improving. It's a long 13 days, but we needed it. We needed to improve as a football team, and we have. We're going to see if we improved enough to achieve team victory tonight, but we've improved. We just got to make sure that we go out and execute tonight.
CJ Carr gets his first career start here at Notre Dame Stadium in front of this hometown crowd. What does he need to do in order to be successful against the A&M defense?
You know what? Just, take advantage of the plays that are there for him. I don't want him to try to be somebody he's not, but he won't. But I also, have a lot of faith in him. Hey, if you see something, be aggressive. Like, there's no restraints. You're not a first-time player anymore. Go out there and be CJ Carr.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. Now let's go over to Jordan with Coach Elko.
Thanks, Catherine. Coach, in talking yesterday, when we asked you about Notre Dame, you said you expect to see a lot of Jeremiah Love. How does your defense intend to scheme against him this evening?
Yeah, he's a great back. We got to leverage him, and we got to do a good job trying to tackle him with a lot of bodies.
First opportunity for you guys on a real test, and happens to be on the road here at Notre Dame. What was your message to your guys before you left the locker room?
Hey, go out and play football the way we know how. It's a great stage. It's a great environment. Let's go play our football.
Coach Elko, best of luck to you. We'll send it back up to Noah in the booth.
All right, guys, great stuff. Marcel Reed and this Texas A&M Aggies team believes that this can be the game where they can prove to the rest of the country that they can break through and be a legitimate contender, not just in the SEC, but beyond.
Well, they've got a lot of good pieces, and they added some speed on the perimeter at wide receiver. That's why I was saying I think this is a much more explosive and dangerous offense than the one Notre Dame's defense faced a year ago in College Station.
We're honest. Everybody's looking at this as a watermark game, and they believe they play those every week in the SEC. On the other side, CJ Carr, just his second start of his young career. Notre Dame won the toss and elected to defer. So it'll be Carr watching from the sideline to begin his first home game. He said he had chills just thinking about what it was going to feel like running out on this field after having to do it in Miami for his first collegiate start. See Reed-Adams and the leadership of this A&M side. Mike Elko has built a fantastic program as expected. In just year 2, we saw what he did in 2 years at Duke and included the date with Notre Dame in 2023 in which the Irish won. And we'll see his offense out on the field first here tonight. But first, the energy is about to get turned up here at Notre Dame Stadium. Notre Dame is going to send it away to start this game. Marcello Diometti will boot it to Terry Bussey. The dynamic sophomore, 9th in FBS in return yardage average so far through 2 weeks. Number 8 Notre Dame, number 16 A&M. Here we go. And we start with a touchback. So Marcel Reed, 4-4 as a starter last year, 2-0 to start this season, and has taken some real steps in his progression.
Yeah, he's thrown the ball well, 7 touchdowns, no interceptions, also leading the team with 105 yards rushing. A definite dual threat guy who can beat you on design runs, but even more dangerous when things break down and you don't rush him with control. And that'll be the big challenge for Notre Dame. They want to pressure this guy, but you have to do it smartly.
Marcus Freeman compared it to the game plan for Caleb Williams when they faced USC a couple years ago. Said this is a guy that can embarrass you with his legs. Moss is the back and a dangerous one on first down. He's got the carry and some good space. Spins away and picks up a first down of 11 yards.
Well, right away, you see the offensive line, and that's this team now. Concepcion is one of the transfers. Mario Craver, the other one that came in. Instant impact. And then up front, Trey Zune is the leader at left tackle. But all 5 of those guys were the same starters that played against Notre Dame a year ago. Experienced guys up front.
They all have at least 16 starts in their name. Here's Reed, flag down, as he'll get to the corner and pick up 2, and we'll wait for the penalty, our first of the game.
Definitely in the area of holding. And again, when you have a quarterback that can get out of the pocket and escape, sometimes it's difficult for linemen. They don't know where he's going to be.
Holding, offense, number 78, 10-yard penalty, first down.
So right tackle, and you know, he's expecting on this play the quarterback to be in the pocket. But when the quarterback leaves the pocket, he doesn't know, ends up kind of a pull down. Not a whole lot there.
Terry McCauley shaking his head no. I don't think he agreed necessarily with the call, Terry.
No, he just knocked his arms down. We see this all the time. He knocked his arms down. There's no grab and pull down. Shouldn't have been a foul.
So now backs up A&M. This is an SEC officiating crew led by Kyle Olson. So a 1st and 20 from the 25, back where the drive started. Reed's going to load it up down the middle of the field. Incomplete, knocked away at the last second, looking for Concepcion.
Well, that's the play of the safety because Concepcion beat the corner. The corner was beat on the play. That's Christian Gray, number 6. He's beat, but the safety comes to help. Beautiful play by Stroman coming over there and knocking the ball out, taking away a big play from the Aggies.
Jalen Stroman, one of the few transfers, especially on this defensive side, but he, along with Devontae Smith, the nickel, 2 of the more important transfers in that back line, and a big play early from Stroman. Now Owens and Moss both on the field together. Mike Elko did hint that we could see them out there side by side. Reed's going to rip it, and too high, nearly picked. Oh, it was in the hands of Christian Gray, who had 4 dropped interceptions last year.
The expectation is that Notre Dame is going to play primarily man coverage. This was zone, and the ball just kind of sailed on Reed. A lot of that is just early game nerves or jitters, but zone defense, he was probably expecting man, and now it's 3rd and very long for this Aggie offense.
The Notre Dame pass rush did not play to their standard 2 weeks ago at Miami. Let's see what they have here on 3rd and long.
There's the key guy right there.
They double on Traore. It's going to be a quick screen to Craver, and he'll get back some of that penalty yardage, but not much more after that. Group tackle after a gain of 12, and an eventual punt now for the Aggies.
Well, Notre Dame definitely benefited from a call that probably wasn't deserving of a penalty. It backed them up. Then a couple nice plays on the ensuing plays, and we've got a punt situation for the first time tonight.
So Tyler White, 2nd season as a starting punter for A&M, will come out for his first try. Jordan Faison, always reliable and always dangerous with the ball in his hands. 2 returns in that first game. Didn't go very far against the Hurricanes. Notre Dame's coming. They got the number of kicks last year, and this one's going to go for 6. What a turn for the Irish. Touchdown, Notre Dame.
Logan Thomas, I don't know, is number 10 that got the ball.
Sideline warning. Notre Dame. The score is good.
Tay Johnson's the one who recovers, brings it in.
Nobody blocked number 10 at all. He came right up the middle. The personal protector went to his right, and nobody accounted for the most dangerous rusher, and a huge special teams play right out of the gate for the Irish.
Blocked 6 kicks last year, 3 of them from Bryce Young. That led the country. And what a turn as the Irish will bring on Noah Burnett for this extra point. 7-0 Notre Dame.
Well, they get the stop. Now watch, right here in the middle. I mean, it's nobody blocks. The personal protector is going to go to the right. Nobody picks up Logan Thomas. A clean shot, does a great job of reaching with his left hand and not running into the kicker. And another block kick for this Irish special teams. Perfect form and technique by the rusher.
I mean, think about takeaways and the lack of them against Miami for Notre Dame. Led the country with 33 takeaways last year. And Mike Elko talked about it, protecting the football and special teams. He mentioned there's always a special team play that makes a difference in these types of games.
Can't express to you how important that technique was of not going across the foot of the kicker, not running into the kicker, running right to the side, reaching out the left hand and getting the block with one hand.
So now Mike Elko and his coaching staff will go back to the drawing board after the drive stalled following the hold. Notre Dame, within seconds, has turned it upside down. Diometti will send it back away to Bussey. And this one, a line drive, will bounce out of bounds. So a mistake there, and A&M will benefit from Notre Dame's first penalty of the day.
Free kick. Out of bounds. Kicking team. The ball he placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
It's a Notre Dame defense that last year was just so good, but struggled a little bit at times in Miami.
Yeah, well, we talked about Boubacar Traore, number 5, and he missed all of last year, most of last year, missed all of spring, limited in the summer. He is their best pure pass rusher, and they're counting on a big year from him. Leonard Moore in the back end, a lockdown corner. We'll see lockdown corners on both sides tonight, but he has been outstanding in the secondary for Notre Dame.
There's Chris Ash, who took over for Al Golden, defensive coordinator the last couple seasons here for Notre Dame, off to Cincinnati with the Bengals this season. And Ash trying to put slight tweaks to make it his own. Now flag and a false start.
False start. Offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Well, 2 things to point out here. Number 1, Texas A&M played their first 2 games at home. Number 2, that's the first time Texas A&M has trailed in a ball game in 2025 right there. So this crowd is amped up, and they're going to have to manage that.
Both backs are in there. Reed's going to keep himself. Got hit as he threw it, and it was behind his intended target, Bethel Roman. And Reed took a shot. Remember, he left the game in the 3rd quarter last week against Utah State. It was Boubacar Traore who laid the hit.
Yeah, and this was Basantes, the guard, who's going to pull over, and he just misses him. Watch 71 go right by him. Misses his block, and Traore with a big hit on the quarterback. I mean, he was accounted for in the protection, but he wasn't picked up.
Second and 15. Blitz picked up. Reed flushed out and out of bounds. Well, Marcel Reed has been so important to the success of this offense that scored 40+ in their first 2 games, but this was in the 3rd quarter last week against Utah State. Tries to evade, get out of the pocket. He goes down on his own accord, and then he got hit on the back end. He didn't return to this game, which was more precautionary than anything, but it did take him out for the rest of the time.
Well, both of these teams are excellent on 3rd down situations, particularly long yardage. Let's see if Notre Dame elects to go zone defense here. It's a 2-deep look right now, and it is zone.
They rush 4. Reed, 1 for 5 so far. This is where he's most dangerous, but he's not going anywhere this time. Another play by Tay Johnson. Gains 5 and another punt.
Well, I want you to watch this guy right here now. He's going to fake like he's rushing. This is Kingston Biliamu Asa, but he's really spying. So he's not rushing. He's in charge of kind of spying the quarterback. He doesn't make the tackle, but he does his job forcing Reed to the sideline short of the first down.
Let's see if they bring the heat again on the punter, Tyler White. This time he gets it off cleanly for Faison, who makes the fair catch at the 28. So the first time we'll see Notre Dame's offense is with a 7-0 lead after a number of stops. 37-yard punt, and C.J. Carr's next. Coverage brought to you by Ford. Ready, set, Ford. Here in South Bend, and they've got so much excitement with a 7-0 lead to see their young quarterback play in front of the hometown fans for the first time. C.J. Carr making his first home start of his young career.
Love his poise. I mean, he showed great poise on the road in a hostile environment a week ago. Made some freshman mistakes, but he made some big-time plays as well, particularly in the fourth quarter.
Jeremiah Love is in there. Let's see if they give the ball to him on play number 1. As expected, Love, the tote, and that's what he does. Chews up yards to the tune of 13.
Well, I would have bet everything I have that he was going to carry the football on the first play of the game. He gets it, gets a nice block on the edge by Jordan Greathouse. I think we're going to see a lot more of Love, a lot more Jadarian Price, and 2 receivers, Will Pauling and Jaden Greathouse, involved in the offense tonight.
Fresh set of downs. Fake it to Love. Now it's Carr. Rolls out on the run. Perfect delivery, but it was dropped. He was looking for Faison, normally sure-handed, and it's 2nd and 10.
A nice little play-action bootleg and a well-thrown ball by Carr. Faison trying to make sure he keeps his feet in bounds, just not able to secure the catch on the sideline.
Faison, 5 catches, 33 yards, and a touchdown in the loss at Miami. Carr led 3 scoring drives in the fourth quarter after having just 1 through the first 3. Handoff, Love stumbles through, keeps his footing for 9.
See, this is the thing about Jeremiah Love, is last game they did a lot of RPOs and they were trying to go away from the numbers that said don't run it. Sometimes there could be a free rusher, doesn't matter. Jeremiah Love can beat free rushers. You give him the ball, you let him have a chance to make plays, you block all the guys you can, and you say, hey, number 4, you're responsible for the unblocked guys, and more times than not, he's going to win.
Marcus Freeman said, I can sleep well at night, as Texas A&M's going to have to call their first time out. Crowd has been ignited. Despite a number of A&M fans traveling here, Notre Dame has represented. Already up 7-0 with a 3rd and 1 coming up. Back here at Notre Dame Stadium, the Irish driving their first offensive series of the game, with Jeremiah Love already 2 carries, 22 yards after just going 10 for 33 in the season opening loss at Miami. It's a 3rd down and 1 from midfield. Give it to Love, trying to be special, and he's caught up this time. Too much penetration from this front. DJ Hicks came in. Scooby Williams, the linebacker, made initial contact.
Well, you can't let somebody come unblocked like this. Watch at the end of the line. I mean, they're just going to let this guy come in. Nobody accounts for him. Nobody touches him. And even Jeremiah Love is going to have trouble getting away from an athlete like Scooby Williams. Good call, good design on that 3rd down and short. And Notre Dame's going to have to punt the football because they lost yardage. They didn't get back to the line of scrimmage, and you have to punt the football. So they gave up some plays early and then came up with a huge play on 3rd and short.
Irish got a late substitution in. James Rendell is going to send it away. Casey Concepcion is dangerous when he has the football in his hands. He's going to have to back up, call for the fair catch, and make it just in front of the 10-yard line. A 44-yard punt to pin the Aggies back in their own territory.
Well, Nissan honor roll. You've got 2 new receivers for A&M, Mario Craver, Casey Concepcion. They've combined for 6 of the 8 touchdown passes this year. And they're going against 2 outstanding man cover guys, Christian Gray and Leonard Moore, who just came on the scene as a freshman last year when Benjamin Morrison got hurt. 2 outstanding cover corners, and When you have guys that you trust playing man-to-man, it allows you to do a lot of creative things with the other 9 guys around the box, your safeties, your linebackers. That'll be an interesting matchup all night, watching the receivers against the corners.
We've seen A&M be forced into 2 third and very long situations on their first 2 drives. Moss has 1 carry for 10 yards. His second attempt is going to go for 4. He is just so tough with the football in his hands. He was so great for them through the first 9 games of last season, but then a leg injury derailed the rest of his year, and their rushing numbers completely fell off a cliff.
Yeah, their rushing numbers went down. Their defense kind of went in the tank the last 4 games, and they let a great start to a season kind of slip away. But the cool thing about him, that's 259 career carries now, and only 7 have gone for negative yards.
That's unbelievable.
He is always falling forward and getting positive yards.
Craver, the motion man on 2nd down and 6. Fake it to Moss on the run. It's Craver out of the backfield. He's got a lot of speed down the sideline. Craver still going. Oh, Mario Magic. Touchdown. 86 yards on the catch and run.
We saw Jalen Stroman make an excellent play, knocking a pass away. This time he gets fooled. Watch Stroman come up. He thinks it's just going to be a little flat route. Instead, it's an out and up. Stroman is beat automatically, and then just poor tackling on the sideline. I mean, that's uncharacteristic of Notre Dame's defense. 3 guys there. It was still going to be an explosive play, but it didn't have to be a touchdown. But credit Mario Craver. Excellent individual effort.
Longest play of his career. Extra point from Bond makes it 7-all. And again, a massive swing in this game in a blink of an eye. Craver takes it. Notre Dame knew he was dangerous. It didn't matter. He does the rest to tie the game. Texas A&M had 3 total 100-yard receiving games last year, and Mario Craver is 2 yards away from making it 3 in a row to start the season. This was impressive.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, they're going to take Craver. This is him right here. They're going to bring him in motion, and as he comes in motion, these 2 safeties are going to switch responsibilities. It's man-to-man. They're blitzing a linebacker. The other linebacker is going to take the tight end, and watch the safety get fooled on the route. He thinks it's just going to be a little out route. Instead, it's a wheel route up the sideline, and then, as we mentioned, just poor tackling. Marcus Freeman lamented about poor tackling in the loss to Miami, too, and they thought they had it figured out, but that was not good tackling, and Mario Craver continues to shine for this Aggie offense.
Marcus Freeman talked about playing harder, longer, but more than anything, executing for longer than the other team, and that time, that just wasn't the case for the Irish. The Ryder Cup is live from Bethpage Black Golf Course in New York, where America's best take on Europe's elite golfers. September 26th to the 28th on NBC, USA, and Peacock. It is a massive weekend on NBC and Peacock. We've got the Penn State whiteout game. We've got Packers, Cowboys, Micah Parsons against his former team, and of course the Ryder Cup as well. Should be awesome, and you can find it all right here on NBC. So Notre Dame will start this drive from their own 25. Second chance for C.J. Carr, Jeremiah Love in this offense after they stalled out at midfield.
Well, I think they're going to dare C.J. Carr to throw the football. That's a lot of people around the box to stop the run.
And they still can't quite do it. He gains 5, maybe even 6 based on the spot for this Notre Dame offense.
Good run against a loaded box. You take a look at the offense. Of course, Jeremiah Love. Malachi Fields, one of those transfer receivers. Big, physical body. Transferred in from Virginia. He's the boundary receiver, and I expect to see them try to get him the ball as well. And then up front, I think Emil Wagner, the right tackle, is really an outstanding player. Had a lot of experience against excellent edge rushers a year ago. He'll face another one tonight.
Saw Love have his finger worked on, so he goes to the sideline. Quick catch, and this time Faison squeezes it and brings it across the sticks for the first down.
And we talked about how A&M improved their wide receiving core as we look at Jeremiah Love getting some attention. I think Notre Dame did as well. Went in the portal, brought Malachi Fields from Virginia, Will Pauling, a veteran guy from Wisconsin. And I think their passing game will be better because of the addition of more weapons on the outside.
Faison, the motion man, first down from the 37. Carr steps up and threw it behind Faison. This A&M defense believes that they've taken yet another step, and they were very good through the majority of the season until the end last year.
Yeah, they're really deep up front. They had a couple outstanding edge rushers last year, but this guy, Cassius Howe, he has really come into his own. 3 sacks a week ago on consecutive plays. First down, second down, third down. Will Lee is one of those corners that loves to play man-to-man. We'll see him on the boundary a lot against the guy we were talking about, Malachi Fields.
Both backs in there. Price back to the backfield. Now it's Love in motion. They'll pitch it to him. Love trying to get to the outside, and that's well covered by the Aggies. Some extra after the fact, and it looks like that shove at the end drew the penalty.
Yeah, really a dumb penalty if that's what it is. Des Ricks played this perfectly. He's the backside corner. He stays at home. He reads it. He makes an excellent play, but just carried the tackle too far.
Play, personal foul, lay out of bounds, defense, number 2, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Yep.
You know, I mean, he just threw him into the bench. There's just no excuse for that. He made a great play, staying at home on the jet sweep to Jeremiah Love, and then he hurts his team by just not making a smart play right there.
And this goes back to what we saw pregame. These two teams were jawing before this game even started, going back into the tunnel, back to their locker rooms, and Jeremiah Love, well, living up to his last name and loving every second of it. 4 carries for 23 yards so far for Love. Did not get those touches that was expected in the first half. Carr's going to take a shot here, and it's caught by Raridan behind the defense. Raridan is down just shy of the goal line. A 47-yard rip for the Irish on the flea flicker.
Well, this is a long developing play, and watch Raridan just kind of sell it. He's going to sell block. I think he could have had Fields on the post, but he goes to the wheel route. Watch the tight end sell it, sell it, sell it, then release. Nobody picks him up. C.J. Carr sees him wide open, gets him the football, and the guy who was the leading receiver for the Irish a week ago, or a game ago with 5 catches, makes a big one right there.
Offensive coordinator Mike Denbrock said he's got a chance to be truly special. They're going to spot this at the 5. Let's see if he steps out of bounds right there. Looks like he did. So it'll be 1st and goal from the 5 with Jeremiah Love in there to take the direct snap. Love can't get away. A bear hug and some nastiness coming from Cassius Howe.
Now, this is a mistake. I don't know who's responsible, but you can't let him come. We've seen 2 plays now where Notre Dame has just let a guy come inside and nobody accounts for him. It could have been the tight end number 7. It could have been the tight end number 9 on the cutoff. Whoever it was, somebody made a mistake, and those are hard to overcome in the deep red zone.
On top of that, Love loses his helmet, so now he's going to have to go off to the sideline. You see the 3 sacks, the sack trick, as they're calling it, on 3 consecutive plays. Jadarian Price, the running back, on 2nd and goal. Hand it to him. Price, the cut. Price, the touchdown. The Price is right for Notre Dame from 7 yards out to take the lead.
Well, I think Eli Raridan, who had the big catch, had the mistake on the play before, but watch him on this one get in here and lead right on the middle linebacker and open things up for Price. Leads the play, gets a nice block on York, the key to this Aggie defense, and a nice cutback run by Price for the touchdown. He had a 40-some yard touchdown in the game last year against the Aggies. Gets one tonight now to put Notre Dame back on top.
Extra point, and Burnett puts it through. 14-7. Eli Raridan has come into his own. Another big one, officially at 43 yards down the field, sets up Price. With his first carry of the game, he finds Pater, and the Irish go back up in front. Well, Mike Elko was defensive coordinator here in 2017. He's a defensive guy at heart, and so when his defense gives up plays, he doesn't like it.
Yeah, you know, he told us, we asked him, how do you build great defense? He says, well, first it starts by showing players what good defense looks like. It's all 11 guys on the same page, being accountable, doing their job, and that time, you know, he loves Des Ricks, but Des Ricks wasn't accountable to the other 10 guys. Made a bad mistake. It cost their defense, and ultimately it cost them the lead in the game.
Yeah, that chair we're going to have to check on because the well-being doesn't appear to be super high. We saw the full jersey come out of Elko right there. And we'll see if his defense can respond first. His offense has to do so. They went on a long touchdown catch and run for Craver last time of 86 yards. This time Bussey will take it out from the goal line. Looking for a crease, won't find it. Denied before getting to the 20. Tomorrow, it's the Manchester Derby, streaming live on Peacock. Whether you're red or blue, a rivalry today that's sharply relevant as it is historically rich. Manchester City, Manchester United, tomorrow, 11:30 Eastern on Peacock. Well, the crowd got taken out of it, at least the Notre Dame side, momentarily after the long touchdown. They're right back in it after that drive for the Irish. Let's see what Marcel Reed and this offense have as a response.
New running back Reuben Owens is in for A&M number 4.
It's a first down from the 20. Hand it, Owens gets engulfed. Let's go down to KT with an update on Le'Veon Moss.
Yeah, well, Todd, you're seeing Owens in there because senior running back Le'Veon Moss was throwing up on the sidelines. He went into the tent towards the garbage can, came back out, did not put his helmet on, and now he's back in the tent. So we'll continue to monitor that situation.
That would be a huge blow. He just got out of the tent, which is a good sign for the senior who, as we talked about, means so much to this offense. They rely on him as really their main bell cow. They're going to throw it on second down the sideline. It's intercepted. Who else but Leonard Moore? The star sophomore with another takeaway.
Well, this is what makes Leonard Moore so special. He's stride for stride, daring you to take a shot, and he's watching the eyes of the receiver. Watch. When the receiver looks back for the ball, he looks back for the ball. He's in perfect position, and he makes the interception. I don't know, maybe he's a little concerned because Will Lee has the nickname the blanket. Maybe Leonard Moore thinks he should be the blanket. He was certainly the blanket on that play.
Full coverage. Moore talked about his continued growth, the first interception of the season for Reed, who has done such a good job of keeping the ball out of harm's way through 2 games. But now Notre Dame already in plus territory at the 42 with a chance to extend the lead. Price stays out there. We saw Love getting that finger work done, so both star running backs dealing with their respective issues so far in this first quarter. Handoff, Price looking to bounce and just lowers the shoulder back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, this is a sudden change situation for this Aggie defense, and certainly the guy leading the charge, Torian York, their leader, their communicator, with a nice tackle there on the first down play. Your team turns it over, your offense, your defense comes on with a shorter field. See if they can get a stop right here. Good first down play by their leader, York. A lot of room up top for Malachi Fields.
Carry on second and 10, and Price gets tripped up, maybe gains a yard. Scooby Williams got there and went down low.
Well, I think he got tripped up by his own guy. Anthony Knapp, number 54, the left tackle, kind of got pushed back into the backfield a little bit, and I think Price tripped over his own guy.
So now 3rd and 9. We saw the Aggies have to deal with a number of 3rd and long. Notre Dame hasn't had to have one yet, and we'll see how C.J. Carr handles.
Well, and I think this play's important because if they get, obviously you want to get the first down, but if you get 6 or 7 yards, it's probably 4-down territory here for the Notre Dame offense.
Burnett only attempted 1 field goal, and he made it against Miami. It was a 39-yarder. His career long is 52. Would need some yards for that. And Price has a lane to the outside. Turns on the speed and is ushered out of bounds inside the red zone.
Well, this is how you take care of an edge rusher. Watch him go up the field, and the run goes right underneath him. You invite him up the field, you kick him out, receiver gets a block on the boundary, and you fool Texas A&M on 3rd down and long with a running play, and you take advantage of a guy who likes to rush the quarterback.
And we expected this Notre Dame offensive line to respond after getting pushed around against Miami. They certainly have done that. Price with 32 yards on 4 carries and the touchdown. Love has 21 yards. Now it's Carr, stops on a dime and then gets dragged down by Cassius Howell.
the loss to Miami, we saw a lot of RPOs in the offense for Notre Dame. I think part of that was to take some of the pressure off their young quarterback, easy, quick reads. And a lot of times he was choosing to throw the football instead of handing it off to Love or Price. And I think they said, look, we're not going to do that. Mike Denbrock said, that was on us. We're not going to put that on the quarterback. We're going to just have him give the ball and let CJ worry about some other things. And it's worked so far in the ball game tonight.
Play clock down to 3 on this 2nd and 10. Handoff. Price up the middle. Gets it across the 15 down to the 14-yard line. And you said it. I think both coaches basically said the same thing to us. Marcus Freeman and Mike Denbrock both said, look, we can feel okay knowing that we can take the responsibility of it. We take that off of his shoulders, and he'll feel a lot better about it than leaving it up to chance as to whether or not Love is going to get the ball. You just see the difference from last year to this year. It was stark in week 1 against Miami.
Yeah, and it wasn't the quarterback's fault because he was reading what the numbers would say to do. But again, when you've got backs as talented as Love and Price, sometimes the mathematics don't matter. Give the ball to those guys and let them win.
All numbers courtesy of PFF as we get ready for a 3rd and 7, and they're going to have to use a timeout. Play clock was dwindling all the way down, so Notre Dame will take it.
Good decision that time by CJ Carr. Knowing what the play clock was, don't want to waste this play.
Carr only 5 passing attempts so far. He's 3 of 5, 49 yards, including the 43-yarder to Raritan.
The last game against Miami, he did a nice job on a quarterback draw in a situation like this, down in the red zone, following the lead block of Jeremiah Love for a touchdown. Of course, we saw Riley Leonard do that so much last year. I read a stat earlier today that last season, Riley Leonard, 30 times he converted either a 3rd or 4th down by running the football. And he would run it on 3rd, like 3rd and 3, and if he didn't get it, he'd run it again on 4th and 1 and pick it up. But he was an effective runner last year. CJ Carr is a good runner, but not quite of the same caliber as Riley Leonard.
Well, Jeremiah Love gave him some props, but was willing to admit that he's not the same as Riley, but he's better than people give him credit for. Let's see what they go with on 3rd and 7. It's Carr, good protection, fires. Caught low, short of the sticks. Looking at Malachi Fields, about a half-yard shy.
Well, it's unfortunate for Fields that he had to go this low to catch the ball. If he could have stayed up on his feet, as big as his body is, working on Will Lee, he probably would have been able to muscle his way for the 1st down.
As he survived the ground there. It's 4th and 1. Notre Dame leaving the offense on for the time being.
Here's the direct snap again right now.
Didn't work the first time. Let's see if Love can make it happen this time. Snap, Love, got it. 1st and goal. So the play goes on. They don't go back to look at the potential catch, and Love picks it up with ease.
So this was a little misdirection. Watch, you're going to pull the tight end, but watch Love start this way and cut it back. Give the key to the defense that he's running to the left, and then cut it back and use that power and quickness to get the 1st down.
Here's another look at the catch. Fields goes down. You see it come a little bit, but more than anything, it looked like he kept both hands on it and survived through the ground. So 2 tight ends out there, 1st and goal. Hand it, Love, and again, you see big number 9 come in to make first contact. Cassius Howell is just so difficult to deal with.
Cassius Howell does a nice job with his speed from the backside. I mean, he's not the most physical guy, so if you run at him, he's going to have some issues. But if you run away from him, he can use his skill set to chase down plays, and that's what he did on that play.
Love did not have a touchdown with a limited catches, limited carries in that first game against Miami. He had touchdowns in their first 13 games last year, which is a Notre Dame record.
Yeah, I would rather run at Cassius Howell to the left side here.
That's what they do. But Love's not going anywhere, and again, he loses his helmet. They blow it dead. A&M held on, and it's 3rd and goal.
This is a really nice job by the safety, Marcus Ratcliffe, number 3. Watch Marcus Ratcliffe just kind of see a gap and run in here and get the tackle and the hit behind the line of scrimmage. Sees a gap, shoots the gap, and makes a nice play on Jeremiah Love.
So Love Love again will have to go to the sideline. Marcel Reed hoping that his interception doesn't lead to a score by way of a touchdown for Notre Dame. See about a second difference between the play clock and the quarter. They could reasonably take this all the way down if they wanted to.
And Cassius Howell took himself out of the game as well, their best pass rusher. Play clock under 5 now.
Doesn't look like he's in any rush, and that's going to end this first quarter. Feels like an entire game just happened in 15 minutes. We saw a whole lot of action. That included a blocked punt for a touchdown. That included a long 86-yarder and a 14-7 Notre Dame lead after one. Time to take a look at the United Cam here at Notre Dame, and of course so much history that comes with playing here at Notre Dame Stadium. Mike Elko, who was the defensive coordinator here for a year, did mention that he didn't expect to have all that nostalgia coming into the game, but he knew the players would probably be into it. We were into that first quarter, a lot of action.
A lot of action, and you know, at the top of the show we talked about Notre Dame anyway. Expected their offensive line to play much better. They did that in the first quarter. Expected to see Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price have a bigger role in the game plan, and we saw that in the first quarter too. Now another big critical third down situation near the goal line, and see what Texas A&M's defense can come up with here.
Defense has been lackluster by Mike Elko standards. Yeah. They had the one big play on offense and then a couple of mistakes. Yeah,
a couple of mistakes, and some of those mistakes also set them back in third and very long yardage. The one mistake, the penalty on the sideline, extended a Notre Dame scoring drive. So, yeah, uncharacteristic. And in a game like this, of this magnitude with two evenly matched teams, you can't afford too many of those.
Let's see if they can come up with a stop on 3rd and goal. A drive that started after the Reed interception to Moore.
Would not be surprised to see a quarterback draw here with a lead blocker. It would be Jadarian Price in here as the tailback. Raridan also a big target if you want to throw the football.
A&M showing with a couple of extra rushers, and they bring it. Carr, end zone, dropped. It was intended for Fields, and the blanket got him. Will Lee III with a stop.
Excellent job by Will Lee. This is man-to-man all the way. And Will Lee in press coverage against a big receiver, fights through the big body and knocks the ball away. It's a good design, good play call. It's a good throw by Carr, and just a better play by Will Lee. They needed a stop on 3rd down, and their cover corner guy gave it to him.
He asked Torian York about him, and he said he's just not scared. That guy goes out there and believes he's going to win every matchup, has a swagger, and forces a 22-yard field goal attempt for Noah Burnett. And he drills it. Notre Dame cashes in with 3 after the turnover. Couldn't quite knock it in, but 17-7 lead early in the second. Sunday night, J.J. McCarthy makes his SNF debut at home as the Vikings host Michael Penix Jr. and the Falcons Sunday, 7 Eastern on NBC and Peacock. Big week for J.J. Gets the win in his first start in comeback fashion, becomes a father this week, and now a rematch of the 2023 college football season national championship between those two at Michigan and Washington. I don't remember many months later. I wanted to do math in my head, but I realized I do words for a living, not numbers. So we're going to stick with just the rematch from the national championship this Sunday on SNF. Mike, Chris, and Melissa will have the call. So Notre Dame couldn't punch it into the end zone, gets the field goal, extends this to a 10-point game. And now A&M will look to reignite some offense. You know, it's not the first rodeo, so to speak, for the Aggies. We've seen over the last 7 years, ranked in the AP preseason poll, it ties the longest streak in program history. The problem is they've only finished ranked once in the last 6 seasons, and that was 2020, a 9-1 COVID year, which was all out of sorts around the country. Under Mike Elko, started 5-0 in conference play. We're up to 10 in the country last year, but 1-4 over the last 5 games. Finished the season unranked, and now trying to get over that hump. And this is the type of game that can help them do that as we look at the first down line brought to you by Allstate. A win here, it feels like it continues you on the trajectory that Mike Elko has set them on. First down from the 25, and a handoff is going nowhere as Moss gets stood up after a yard. Good to see him back out there after KT reported he was in the medical tent. Texas A&M at home has had no issues against ranked opponents. 2 top 10 wins at home last year, but on the road, 0-13 since 2015. Last win came against number 3 Auburn, November 8th, 2014. So that's where the issue has lied for the Aggies. And Mike Elko knows, look, every week is going to be a challenge with their schedule, but this is an opportunity to prove to themselves in the country that they can do it, as Reed fires and delivers one to Craver. He's up over 100 for the 3rd straight game and a first down.
And that's where you see the maturity and the development of Marcel Reed, is standing in the pocket and delivering this kind of a route. It's a timing route against zone defense, and he delivers a strike in stride, so Reed can use that yard after catch ability he has.
Leonard Moore was slow to get up. He did get up and kind of hop around a little bit. He's going to be helped off the field after the impressive interception on the last drive, and he is so crucial to what this team does, especially playing man.
Well, it is, and if I'm Colin Klein and the offensive staff, as you see the end of this play, kind of gets a leg whip right here by his own teammate. You hope he's okay, but if I'm Colin Klein and Texas A&M, I'm going right after his replacement very soon. Mark Zachary, number 24 in the game, is a true freshman.
Reed, good protection. Lofts it. Oh, what a grab. Going up high. KC Concepcion showing off the hands.
Well, it's good protection. Concepcion goes up, makes the acrobatic catch. It started up front, though, giving the quarterback time, a nice clean pocket. And we've seen these two guys, Concepcion and Craver, are the real deal, and they have changed the dynamics of this A&M offense.
Craver already up to 110 of the team's 145 yards of offense. We're not even 2 minutes into the 2nd quarter. He's having a day. Fake it to Moss. Reed again. Steps in, delivers a deep shot, separation! Concepcion comes down with it at the 1. KC making it happen for 45 yards.
Well, they went after the new cornerback, the freshman. Mark Zachary, little out and up, he bites on the fake, he's beaten badly. That's just good, smart coaching and play calling. You lose their best corner, you go after his replacement, and if he's a true freshman, that's all the more better. And A&M now knocking on the doorstep of another touchdown.
So quick down the field with these weapons on the outside. Notre Dame knew what they were up against defensively. Now can they keep them out of the end zone? Moss at 5'11", 210. Has it. Second effort gets there. Touchdown, Aggies. Second of the season for Le'Veon Moss, the 18th of his career.
Really liked the work of the right guard, Mark Naboo. Watch 54. Now, he was the center to start the game. Watch him. Now he's at right guard. Stay on this block and keep his feet moving. Working on number 93 in there, Jared Dawson, just doesn't give up on the block. And Moss able to just kind of slip right by him into the end zone for the touchdown.
Naboo got hurt, tore his MCL versus Notre Dame last year, missed the rest of the season after the first game. It'll be Bond for the extra point, and the Aggies are back within 3. Texas A&M waking up their weapons on the outside. Concepcion going after the freshman and making an impact down to the 1. And then it's Moss to do the rest and bring the Aggies back within a score. Time now for Above the Rest, brought to you by Jersey Mike Subs.
Well, you watch Mario Craver clear this route out. KC Concepcion with the nice acrobatic catch. And then a couple plays later, they go after the true freshman, Mark Zachary. Beats him badly on the out and up. And then they score the touchdown with the run by Le'Veon Moss. And we talked about these two guys. They have changed the dynamic of this A&M offense. They are both dynamic, explosive with the ball in their hands. And both of them off to an outstanding night tonight.
Craver and Concepcion, 171 combined yards. Texas A&M offense, 191 combined yards.
Much different than the A&M offense that faced Notre Dame last year.
Price is back for this kick, and he'll let it sail into the end zone for a touchback. So C.J. Carr and company back out. Carr just 4 of 7 with 55 yards through the air. We've seen Love and Price both have some impressive moments for a combined 60 yards and the touchdown. Feels like it's been a good blend so far between the run and the pass.
Yeah, it does. I think Notre Dame's got some opportunities to throw some play action on first down. The only problem is you got to hit them. If you come up 2nd and 10, then you really play into the hands of this Aggie defense. Texas A&M expecting run on first down, kind of crowding the line of scrimmage.
So Leonard Moore in the huddle for Notre Dame. Potentially a good sign. We'll keep tabs on that. See if KT can find anything out as well. From the 25. Pass on first down. Looking down the sideline. Single coverage and incomplete. In the direction of Malachi Fields. He was covered once again by Will Lee.
This is a bad throw. I mean, they're trying to go back shoulder to their big receiver, and probably would have had a chance to make the play, but the ball was just thrown way too far and over the head. And like I mentioned, now 2nd and 10, the advantage goes to the A&M defense and Mike Elko, who's calling those defensive signals.
And this is where number 9 in white, Cassius Howell, comes out and becomes a gamer. Screen pass. Love. Decent blocking. Hurdles over and gains 9.
He's so quick. For 215 pounds, he's got electric speed. Told us the other day, he doesn't like to get hit. So he likes to treat playing football like he's playing tag. Just run away from people. Don't let people touch him. And sometimes that means jumping over people to do that.
Got over the top of Ryland Kennedy and sets up a 3rd and about a half yard. Well, Marcus Freeman's team, Mike Elko's defense is locked in a bit more after giving up some explosive plays earlier in this first half. Play clock's down to 5 here.
Long time getting the play call in on this one.
It's Love to the outside, shows off the burners. Love elusive to midfield. 16 on the ground, and Jeremiah moves the sticks.
He just outruns. I mean, this guy's coming here is going to be unblocked, but Jeremiah Love just outruns him. Take a look. Now, as Love gets the ball, there's a guy unblocked. Can't get him on the ground. Takes a bad angle. That's the linebacker, Jordan Lockhart, number 54, who just got outrun on that play.
First set of downs at midfield, right back to Love. Stays on his feet initially, then gets driven backward by Tyler Onyedem.
Well, his 10th carry of the ball game. Hasn't busted a long one, 43 yards, but he only had 4 carries in the first half in the loss to Miami. And this offense was kind of stuck in the mud in the first half. Didn't come alive until the 4th quarter, but you can see a much more concerted effort tonight getting the ball in the hands of Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price.
It's one of the guys who, outside of quarterback, was one of the Heisman front runners coming into the season. Right back to Faison, his favorite target, goes for 14 yards.
Good timing on this route. It's a zone beater, kind of sit down in between 3 defenders, a missed tackle by York, and yards after the catch for Faison.
How dependable has he become for this team, dating back to the beginning of last year? Just some huge moments through that run to the national title game. National champion on the lacrosse team. Just an outstanding overall athlete that continues to build his rapport with C.J. Carr. They put him in motion now on first down. Carr open. Love makes the grab. Love gets away. Touchdown. 36 yards. It's Carr to Love.
Busting the coverage as Love releases. Nobody on this A&M defense accounts for him. They pick up everybody else. Nobody takes Jeremiah Love, the most dangerous guy on the field for Notre Dame. The one-handed catch and a touchdown for the Irish.
Burnett back on. 6-play drive that results in a 24-14 lead. 75 yards down the field. Carr goes 3 for 4 for 57 yards. But the final 36 are courtesy of his star running back. Love back on the field and Love back on the end zone, extending the lead. football is brought to you by Allstate. You're in good hands. By Xfinity. Be the best at watching sports. Stream smarter with Xfinity. And by Genesis Motor America. Learn more at genesis.com. Seventh meeting between these two teams. Notre Dame leads the series 4-2, including the '94 Cotton Bowl, when Kevin Pendergast kicked the game-winning 31-yarder with 2:22 left. Number 4 Notre Dame over number 7 Texas A&M, 24-21. C.J. Carr trying to lead the number 8 Irish over the number 16 Aggies here tonight alongside Jeremiah Love.
3 for 4 on that drive, and 2 of those completions came on first down, which the Aggies gearing up to stop the run and stop Jeremiah Love. Good play calling by Mike Denbrock. Jeremiah Love, an excellent receiver. That was his career-long touchdown reception of 36 yards.
Another touchback here. It's been too long. Time now for a game break. Here's John Fanta.
Good evening, Noah and Todd. Let's go to Baton Rouge. Garrett Nussmeier finding Xavion Thomas. Florida, they got a touchdown called back on a holding. The Tigers are the ones with the lead. You can feel the pressure on Billy Napier and the Gators.
Big one there, big one here. A lot of implications in the SEC as we go down to KT.
Yeah, guys, he was in that medical tent for about 3 minutes. They put a spat around his right foot ankle region. He tested it out on the sidelines, putting a lot of pressure on that right leg to make sure he could go, and he's back in the lineup. That is good news for the Irish.
Yeah, great to see Leonard Moore back out there. Took that shot, friendly fire from Drake Bowen to the knee on the last drive.
Unusual formation into the boundary that time.
And they just hand it off, and Moss doesn't get anywhere. Heinisch among the first ones there.
Donovan Heinisch kind of got pushed around on some plays in Miami a couple weeks ago. He is getting off the ball quickly. Watch how quick he is off the ball. He's a little undersized to play in the interior at 277, but he's quick off the football. He gets penetration. He plays with leverage. One of the team captains and doing a nice job on the inside right now.
Notre Dame lost Riley Mills, who is top 3 all-time in games played. Howard Cross, who is towards the top of that list in program history as well. White on the money this time, and Craver has enough for the first down. A nice throw by Reed.
It was interesting when we talked to Mike Elko about Craver. He said, we played him at Mississippi State last year. He had 5 catches for 42 yards and a touchdown. But our DB said he was the hardest guy for us to cover. I mean, he was a deep threat that was difficult. And so when he went in the portal, he was definitely a guy they targeted to get to bring to Aggie land.
On top of that, Elko feels like that first year in the SEC, you get beaten down a little bit. He felt the same way with Marcel Reed, but he improved his body, put on some weight, and that's why he's really taken his game to the next level, up to 121 yards and a touchdown already here tonight. They've got the freshman, Jamarion Morrow, in the game. They're going to split out into the slot. And the play clock was down. Flag and a false start.
False start. Offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
This is a long time to be in your stance. The penalty is definitely on the offensive lineman, but they're doing motion. They're changing the play. Your offensive linemen are up there trying to hold their water, and that's difficult, particularly on the road. And another mental mistake by the Aggie team.
And that is the 3rd penalty called on Crownover. 3 of the 4 against the Aggies. You see Notre Dame has been clean to this point. Now it's 1st and 15 back at the 32. Reed keeps it. Impressive elusiveness. Marcel Reed makes what should have been maybe no gain into a 7-yard pickup.
You know, the narrative for Reed has been that he's a run-first quarterback, and he's trying to change that, and he really isn't that. I mean, he's becoming a complete quarterback. But when he first burst onto the scene against LSU last year, his first carry was an 8-yard touchdown. He ended up running for 3 touchdowns and only attempting 2 passes in that game, and immediately people assumed he's a runner and not necessarily a thrower. But he's a little bit more than just a runner.
Free rusher comes in as Tui Alamaka. Reed to the outside, incomplete. Too far in front of Concepcion.
Nice loop, little stunt by Tui Akamoka. Watch this move by 44. He starts up on the outside. He's going to step and then come inside and forces the quarterback out of the pocket. They're also blitzing a linebacker, force him on the run, and makes an inaccurate throw on the run and brings up 3rd down and 9.
A&M 0 for 2 on 3rd down, and they've both been long. E.J. Smith is the back. Can catch it out of the backfield. Notre Dame will drop back and rush 4. Moore is back in there, try to get into the backfield, and a nice completion. Who else but Mario Craver, who gets leveled on the back end by Drake Bowen.
Well, I'm not sure why you want to blitz Leonard Moore. He's coming, watch, he's going to get pounded by two guys. It ends up being a zone blitz. They're only rushing 3 or 4 guys.
On the field for player injury.
Nice recognition by Marcel Reed, knowing it's zone coverage behind it and getting the ball to his favorite target right now, Craver.
Craver took the shot from Bowen, who has assumed the leadership responsibilities, a captain in the linebacker room. Christian Gray, the other side of the cornerback duo, now down for Notre Dame.
Oh, Mario Craver just made his 5th reception. He's a young receiver, but he's very smart. I want you to watch his route. Watch him know it's zone and just kind of settle down in the area and not go running into Gray. But this is where Gray got hurt, with that left hand reaching in, trying to get a piece of Craver. And you could see the injury there, but that is heads-up route running by Mario Craver, not running into coverage and sitting down in a soft area.
Career day already for Craver. 5 catches, 142 yards, and the 86-yard catch-and-run touchdown. Reed keeps. Reed accelerates and gains 14. Take a look at our Hyundai player on the rise, Mario Craver. Last year at Mississippi State, 9 games, just 17 catches, 368 and 3 touchdowns already in 3 games. Not even a full 3 games. 18 catches for 377 and 4 scores. He has just had a stellar start to his sophomore season.
Well, and that was an excellent run by Marcel Reed, who's also heating up. 5 of his last 6 passes have been complete for 105 yards. Here's another one.
Play action. Reed over the middle. A rifle on target. It was Owens, the running back, that sets up 1st and goal.
Well, watch these linebackers bite on the run fake, and Owens is just going to slip out through here. They've got 2 backs in the backfield. Linebackers bite, safeties bite. And you could see the throw right behind the safety. Tay Johnson, number 9, bit on it as well. And that's just not good eye discipline by the Notre Dame defense. Eyes in the wrong place in the backfield. And a big play and a nice read by Marcel Reed.
Irish have both their corners back out there, Gray and Moore. 1st and goal. Reed lofts back of the end zone, knocked away. Leonard Moore makes another play and then comes up limping.
Well, this is a play where Marcel Reed should have gone to the underneath route. He's going for Concepcion, but right here, the tight end, get him the ball. That's an easier throw, and they don't get it. Marcel Reed trying to get it to Concepcion. Nice play by Leonard Moore, showing that length. But he had the tight end, Borkercher, open for the touchdown. Extra offensive lineman in now for A&M.
Back to Moss. And he's fighting in for the touchdown. Le'Veon Moss, for the 2nd time, says, let's break some hearts here at Notre Dame Stadium. Fifth multi-touchdown game for Moss, and this battle of the backs is upon us. Love with the catch and run touchdown, Moss with his 2nd score, and now the extra point from Bond to get it back to 3, and he does.
You mentioned they brought an extra offensive lineman in. That was Robert Borden, number 70, a true freshman. Watch him lined up here, get a great block inside, and the tight end from Sweden with a nice block as well. Orstrom just crashed down that side. They pull the backside guard, Basantis, 71, and then just hard-nosed running by Le'Veon Moss. What an answer and a response by this Aggie offense. Marcel Reed throwing the ball on time, accurately picking apart this Notre Dame defense. And then Moss pays it off with the touchdown run.
And you see Reed Adams, one of the captains, the celebration. The trenches heating up, the star backs heating up, the 2 quarterbacks finding their rhythm, and we've got one heck of a ball game. 24-21 with 5.5 to play in this 1st half. You don't necessarily expect these teams with the defenses that they bring in to put up points like they've done so far in this game. But highly entertaining in this top 16 matchup.
Well, but we knew we had elite, dynamic playmakers on both sides of the ball, and they're showing up.
Price will let this sail into the end zone. Time now for a game break. Here's John Fanta.
Noah over on Peacock.
Timothy Chalamet is smiling right now. Parker Navarro is balling out once again. Let's see if C.J. Carr can do the same. Price is going to be in there. We've seen Love after the finger injury be shuffled in and out. Great house, the motion man. Hand it. Price. Stutter step. And he just runs into a wall. Scooby Williams. Scooby-Doo, where are you? Right now he's all over the field.
Well, also watch right in the middle. The nose guard, number 17, Albert Regis. He kind of gets in the backfield, gets the first penetration. Scooby Williams there to kind of finish it up, but Regis with an excellent play at the point of attack. They've got depth on this defensive front.
Raritan, who had a long catch earlier in the game, in motion on 2nd and 10. Carr gets away, got a good block, and delivers it on target. Tough catch, a little bit extra effort for K.K. Smith. Initially, he was going to have enough for the first time, but went backward after the catch and only picks up 6.
Yeah, nice design play call that time by Mike Denbrock. It was a design dash, so they start like he's going to be in the pocket. Then by design, he gets outside of the pocket. Takes a little pressure off the quarterback, gives him a different launch point, and he delivers the ball accurately for a nice play on 2nd down.
First catch of the year for the sophomore, sets up 3rd and 3. Carr, well protected, complete. Malachi Fields finally makes the catch and takes it across the 40.
And that's why you want a big body receiver as your boundary receiver. He's going to go against tough coverage, but he's got the body to fight through contact and make those tough catches, and that was a nice conversion on 3rd down.
And an important one. Notre Dame won the toss, elected to defer. Last thing they want to do here is give the ball back to A&M with enough time to get a score before the half. Instead, that double dip could completely turn this game around and provide some breathing room for the Irish. First down from the 42. Carr just lofts it too high and intercepted. Scooby Williams trying to get it to his back, Price, and this time A&M is right there for the takeaway.
Yeah, the young quarterback just kind of got caught in no man's land. Should I run it or should I throw it? Watch as this play opens up. He's going to have a running lane. He starts to scramble. If he just takes off right here, he gains positive yardage at the last second. He decided to throw it. The ball kind of sailed on him. And when the ball's tipped in the middle of the field, usually something bad happens. And the turnover for A&M. Probably should have run the football. His interception a week ago was a mistake that he shouldn't have thrown the ball, and he shouldn't have thrown that one in the middle of the field like that either.
And that was really the experience in Miami for Carr. We saw some of the real positives that his blue chip prospect was capable of, but then certainly some of the negatives, and this one a major negative, sets up A&M at the plus 47. Reed taking his time, steps up, a laser to his main man, Mario Craver, chewing up yards once again.
Well, the way Notre Dame is rushing the passer here is what they want. They wanted to make Marcel Reed stay in the pocket, be a quarterback, and beat him like this, and he did. He keeps his eyes downfield. He doesn't panic. He doesn't leave the pocket, and he waits for Reed to open up on the deep dig route. And another big-time throw by Marcel Reed.
Craver up to 173 yards. It's not even halftime. It's not even a 2-minute timeout in the first half. Handoff. Moss weaving his way through inside the 10. First real mistake, major mistake of the day for Carr. And now the Aggies with a chance to cash in before the 2-minute timeout or take this clock down even further before doing so. They can get a first down at the 6. Moss motioning back to the backfield. Second and 3. Moss. First and goal.
Nice job by the right side of that offensive line. The center, Nabu, with a nice job getting to the second level.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
2 minutes remaining. First half here in South Bend, and we have had a battle as expected. Number 8 Notre Dame leads number 16 Texas A&M by 3 with the Aggies threatening.
In studio with Matt Castle. Matt, with what you've seen from the SEC, who is the king of that conference right now?
Georgia Bulldogs still reign supreme. Until somebody shows me that they can go knock them off, they still are the team to beat in the SEC.
The highlights on the All-State halftime report coming up.
Loving the earth tones from Ahmed. Meanwhile, this was just moments ago. Scooby Williams went back into the locker room, got tweaked up during that interception. Remember, he tore his meniscus on the first drive against Notre Dame last year. Friendly fire with Dalton Brooks on that play. All leads to first and goal. Owens is the back, and he carries the pile to the 2. Some words after the play are Maje Reed-Adams and Boubacar Traore. Meanwhile, Concepcion lost his helmet, and there's a penalty in the end zone. So a lot to unpack. We'll hear it from Kyle Olson.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 6. Half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down. Number 7 of the offense may remain in the game due to the foul.
Well, it's down here. I mean, this is away from the play, and this is a careless, foolish penalty on the part of Notre Dame. And Christian Gray right there pulls the helmet right off in front of the official. And that's a lack of discipline penalty right there on Christian Gray. Gives them 4 shots at it now from the 1-yard line.
And the clock rolling with 1:48 and counting.
Extra offensive lineman again in, number 70 on the left side for A&M. Right now they're just milking clock. So they don't want to give Notre Dame the ball back with much time. They don't mind that they score on this play, but they want to take it all the way down as far as they can.
And they're going to take the timeout here.
Using as much clock as they can.
Well, we've got the time. Let's go back to John Fanta with another game break.
Noah, Florida has answered. DJ Lagway getting the Gators going to Aiden Mizell. The fade pass works. All tied at 10 late in the first half. A big one down in Baton Rouge.
What a day of college football, by the way. We've had some just excellent games across the country, and this one is no different with A&M trying to take the lead here. Remember, Notre Dame scored early in this game on a blocked punt to the end zone, and they've really had it the entire way, but a chance for A&M to pull in front.
You know, this is I know Mike Elko probably wants to be tough and power this ball in, but this is a great opportunity to go play action pass here on first down. I think that Notre Dame's going to sell out for the run. You might pop somebody wide open if you go play action, knowing you still have a couple other shots at it, and you still have a timeout if you need it.
Colin Klein, the great Kansas State quarterback in his second year as offensive coordinator for Mike Elko in this Aggies offense. He and Marcel Reed, such a great relationship. They've got Moss in there. Borkacher, who is a great blocker in the backfield. Hand it. Moss denied. Stood up at the line of scrimmage. And a continued battle for the football after the play. And Marcus Freeman is really trying to get a timeout. Haven't made the announcement, but he will be given
timeout.
That time.
Notre Dame, their second of the half.
Jason Onye, number 47, is going to make a heck of a play. He comes inside, gets the hit in the backfield, slows down the running back Moss, and then
Marcus knew, keep it as much as possible. The issue, if you want to call it that, you get the stop here. You can call one more. You get one more stop, and then A&M can take it down before they kick the field goal or decide to go for it on 4th and goal from the
reset
1.
the game clock to 1-2-3. 1:23.
Oh, wow, that was very, very easy. Easy as 1-2-3. I like that from Kyle Olson. All right, so
I think you got to let Marcel Reed have a dual option here, run or pass. Great speed. He tried to power it in a couple of times with Moss. Nothing easy on the inside. Might have a little bit more success on the perimeter of the Notre Dame defense.
2nd and goal from the 1. It is Reed. Gonna keep it himself. Oh, he gets leveled. Drake Bowen lays the boom.
Timeout. Notre Dame. Their 3rd and final of the half.
It's these two guys. Schuler, the safety, is going to be there too, and then Bowen just lays the wood right here and turns him sideways away from the goal line. Again, Marcel Reed is not very big. He's 180 pounds, and he was no match for Drake Bowen on the goal line on that play.
Impressive for Marcel Reed just to hold on to that football, and you can see the continued jawing between these two teams. Leonard Moore has been getting into it. C.J. Carr hoping that his defense can come through after the interception. And now 3rd and goal. Again, obviously Notre Dame wants to keep them out of the end zone here. The issue just becomes on the timing back end of it. No more timeouts. If you do stop them, you figure another 40 seconds go off the clock.
Well, this possession now is also all about momentum that you take into the locker room. Right? A goal line stand or, you know, a power in touchdown here for A&M. There's a lot of momentum, ebbs and flow in a game like this, and this is huge.
Moss back in there for 3rd and goal. Direct to Moss, up the middle, he's got it! 3rd touchdown for Le'Veon Moss. He has taken over this first half, and A&M leads.
This is just the strength of Moss because it's pretty well defended by Notre Dame. It wasn't necessarily blocked great, but Moss just shows his strength and second effort to get in the end zone.
And after leading wire to wire in their first 2 games, this is the first lead of this night for Texas A&M, and it's now 4.
Watch how close Moss is to Marcel Reed, and the ball's going to be directly snapped right here. And then watch, Notre Dame gets some penetration. He's kind of hit behind the line, but just the power of Le'Veon Moss to get it in the end zone. What a drive. Aggies showing some grit, some toughness here at the end of the first half.
Colin Klein is pumped. Touchdowns in 3 of the last 4 possessions for this Aggies offense. The only one they didn't score on was the interception to Leonard Moore. They punted on their first 2 drives, and this Aggie attack has come alive here on the road. Now C.J. Carr will have a chance with 1:11, no timeouts. Remember, Notre Dame gave up a touchdown at the very end of the first half against Miami. Basically with seconds remaining in the second quarter, Don Schuler had a chance to knock it down and didn't do so, and that momentum was clearly in favor of the Hurricanes going into the break. Now Notre Dame with a chance, as they will get the football back to start the second half, and this will start from the 25.
Well, take a look now, a couple plays that you mentioned. This was against Miami, and a couple miscues that really hurt them. This was the play right at the end of the half. And Don Schuler, worst case scenario, get a pass interference penalty, but he just kind of got frozen. It was a great catch, and then this was the interception in the 4th quarter that Miami was able to capitalize on and extend their lead. And then tonight, the interception that led to the go-ahead score by Scooby there, and Notre Dame trailing now for the first time in the ball game.
Let's see how aggressive they get. To the air on first down. Carr through his progressions. Jump pass. Oh, it's caught somehow by Fields, but likely stays in bounds and would keep the clock rolling.
There's a late flag, though, from the middle of the field back by the defense.
Holding. Defense. Number 4. 10-yard penalty. First down.
The blanket got a little too tight.
They're down here in the boundary again, working on the big receiver, Malachi Fields. There's the grab of the jersey. Wasn't a lot, but you saw that jersey stretch, and it drew the flag.
And now from the 35. A minute 4 to work with. Burnett, career-long 52 yards. Carr in the pocket, lost wide open, the soft spot of the zone. It's Raritan again. Big gain.
Well, this play was made possible by Jeremiah Love. He picks up the blitz.
And there's Bryce Anderson. He is down for A&M, and some legit concern on the field for the Aggies. They get the staff immediately out for the senior from Beaumont, Texas, and we'll check in when we come back. Well, you see some real concern for Bryce Anderson, senior, who has started 16 games over the last 2 years for this team. Dave Campbell's Texas Football Freshman of the Year in 2022. His team looking on, his coach right by his side. The energy in this building has flipped, and everybody hoping to see Anderson bounce back. Here's what happened. Just the ricochet from Raritan after he got popped following the catch, and Anderson went down immediately. We'll be back from South Bend in a moment as they tend to Bryce Anderson. It goes without saying, injuries of any kind are the worst part of this sport, but certainly the ones with a fallen brother. And you can see the pain and concern on the Aggie side and the Notre Dame side.
Yeah, that brotherhood extends to both sidelines and both programs.
Always perspective through the game.
Well, it is a violent game, and everybody that plays it knows that and understands that, but you just are never prepared for an injury that looks like this. Just hope it's not too bad.
It is Bryce Anderson who is down, involved late, got hit on the ricochet at the end of that last play. They have brought out the stretcher and the cart, and you see now A&M will make their way to huddle around the 30-yard line on the opposite end of the field, and there's where that brotherhood will come back into play. We'll see if we have an update when we come back. They continue to tend to Bryce Anderson, tied for the team lead today in tackles, has been flying around the field as both teams look on. Marcus Freeman has his team on knees. Mike Elko has his team lined up opposite of where Anderson has been down. And now the crowd letting them hear it as they will get him up onto that cart to take him to the back, and now his team will go and join me. So Mike Elko give them the okay. They've been waiting, giving the space, and now Elko says, go make sure your brother feels you. Let's go down to KT.
Well, no, just an update on what the medical staff was doing there. They did take the face mask off of Bryce Anderson's helmet. Then they removed his helmet. They have a neck brace on him as well. The jersey and pads are off. Also, we'll continue to get you more updates as we have them.
Thanks so much, KT. Anderson safely loaded This crowd went from a berserk and energized reaction to the Raritan catch to stunned silence, as you'd expect with a scene like this. Mike Elko stayed by his side until he went back to his team to give them the green light to go over. And they will take Anderson off the field. You see the thumbs up. Good work by the responders on the field. Taking all the proper precautions and ensuring top safety as they take Anderson away from the playing area. Now it's a huge moment in this game with 58 seconds left in the first half. Notre Dame has it at the +40 with no timeouts. They will get the ball to start the second half. And after A&M took their first lead, the Irish with a chance to take it right back. That was a dangerous throw high for Love from Carr. And this is so hard to try to refocus after a moment like that.
Yeah, for both teams. I mean, you've been over there just kind of hoping and praying for your fallen brother. And now both teams are right back at it. And for Notre Dame, that was probably good that that ball was dropped. It was not going to go for any gain. Might have lost yardage. It was well defended on that swing pass by A&M's defense.
Love stays in there on 2nd down and 10. Carr to Love. Trying to get to the outside. He stays inbounds instead all the way to the 35, but the clock's going to run now with under 45 seconds.
Yeah, and you can't spike it. You got to call a play. You got to have a play ready to go because it's 3rd down.
The gain of 5 sets up 3rd and 5. Carr couldn't get away. Gets spun down by Damian Sanford.
It was a little stunt, and Jeremiah Love kind of got fooled on the play. He blocked the outside man and let the most dangerous one on the inside come free to the quarterback.
Notre Dame is 1 for 1 on 4th down. You got to imagine at this point, oh, they weren't ready for it, and Love just has to get down on it. 5 seconds left, and now A&M's going to have a shot at the end zone.
That ball was not supposed to be snapped, I don't think.
You wondered if maybe they would dwindle it down to about 2 seconds and take a shot for the end zone on a Hail Mary. Instead, Carr is not there.
Ashton Craig just snapped the ball on his own. I'm not sure what he heard, but I don't think he heard C.J. Carr because he wasn't anywhere near in a position to receive a snap.
Oh,
you heard a
Carr.
clap.
Wow.
You heard a clap. That was a clap of frustration by C.J. Carr, and the center, Ashton Craig, heard it as a clap to snap the football.
So there's still 5 seconds now on the clock.
To 6 seconds.
6
seconds.
So 6 seconds from the 46.
Thank you.
Reed has a strong arm. Notre Dame is going to drop all the way back. They've got 7 within the 20-yard line.
Well, you could also throw something quick.
Or just hand it off. Moss is going to go down. They do have 1 timeout remaining. The clock at zeros right now, but it looked like he got down with 1 second left. And let's see what they officially call. That's what Elko is trying to argue here. Got him a little bit closer for that shot.
Well, now they got a possibility of trying a long field goal.
No doubt.
2 seconds.
This would be they're going to place it at the 35.
That's a good call by Colin Klein. Look, it's a prevent defense. They're guarding against the Hail Mary. Texas A&M sees a light box. They run the football and call timeout and give themselves a chance at a long field goal to try to extend their lead right before halftime.
Now keep in mind, Randy Bond, who had been their kicker coming into this year, lost the starting job coming into the season. You see what his numbers are from 50 plus. He's actually better than from 40 to 49. This one's going to be from 52, and they put Greathouse back there just in case it's short.
He was drilling them in pregame.
And Bond this time, no good. He missed it wide left, had plenty of leg, just couldn't put in the right spot. And a worthy opportunity for A&M that they couldn't quite cash in on. Notre Dame will get the football to start the second half, down by 4 in what has been a wild 2 quarters here at Notre Dame Stadium. The Irish trying to get their first win of the season. A&M looking for revenge from last season's loss to Notre Dame. 4-point game after 2. This first half recap is brought to you by Geico.
Stand back, give me room. I'm doing my thing. I'm doing my
thing. Get more with Geico. Time now for the CFB Bulletin, brought to you by Genesis Motor America. A 4-point ball game here in South Bend, back and forth. But Mario Craver has been a constant. 173 yards, more than the first half for a Texas A&M receiver since Mike Evans in 2013 had 182. Defense and special teams, talked about the takeaways. They did that with an interception. Leonard Moore, block kick on the first drive of the game led to a touchdown. 258 passing yards allowed, though, most in the first half under Marcus Freeman. The QB comparison, somewhat similar. More yardage from Reed, but a lot of that catch and run. C.J. Carr had the mistake towards the end of the first half with the interception that led to the touchdown, and then the botched snap that almost led to a field goal as time expired. It feels like, as expected, Mike Elko told us, this is going to come down to who's going to make the biggest plays latest in the game. And again, you talked about up front, both of these lines have had moments. Both of these defensive lines have had moments. It is a heavyweight battle as expected in a 4-point game as we head to the second half.
Yeah, and both defenses have gotten picked apart at times, and it just seems like which one of the defenses can come up with some timely stops or a takeaway here in the second half.
That was a knuckleball that will sail into the end zone, and we go down to Catherine Tapper.
Well, Noah, I just spoke to head coach Mike Elko to get an update on senior safety Bryce Anderson. He was spine boarded. He was then taken in an ambulance to Beacon Memorial Hospital for precautionary reasons. That is a level 1 trauma center 2 miles away from here, Notre Dame Stadium. He has feeling in all of his limbs. Coach spoke to him on the way out. He also said he told his team, this is our brother. The guys want to play strong for him here in the second half. Also, another injury update, linebacker Scooby Williams is available, but doubtful for the rest of this game with a lower body injury, guys.
Well, some mostly positive news on Anderson. That is definitely disappointing to lose potentially Williams for the rest of this game. Jeremiah Love loves to go airborne, and probably a mistake there as he only picks up a yard. And then jawing back and forth with Tyler Onyedum after the play.
Really good job by the Aggie defense at the point of attack. They're kind of shifting late. They're allowing Notre Dame to get set up, moving their defensive linemen late. Notre Dame had trouble with Miami's movement 2 weeks ago. Texas A&M trying a little bit of their own.
And a flag. This is going backward.
False start. Offense, number 1. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
I don't know if it's a false start as much as potential shift, but let's see what happened.
Well, I think there were 2 guys moving at the same time. If you're allowed to shift like that, that's not a problem. But if the other receiver was moving while that was happening, that would have drawn the flag. It's the only thing I can think of.
So second down and 14. They will shift Greathouse again. And hand it to Love. Couldn't get any blocking and picks up a yard. So now 3rd and 13 on this first drive. And again, it's on Yedem.
This is just really good fundamental defense. And this is by Cassius Howell. Watch number 9, Cassius Howell. He's known as a pass rusher, but watch him take on 2 blockers, hold his ground, maintain leverage, and force this ball back inside. That's just good, hard-nosed work by an undersized defensive end. Got to be smart with the ball here if you're C.J. Carr.
A&M brings 4, 3rd and 13. Loft sideline, caught. Malachi Fields makes the adjustment for the first down.
Well, this is a beautiful throw because you're throwing it to the big receiver, and it's either going to be a completion. See, that's the strength of a boundary receiver. He fights off that hard press, doesn't lose his balance, doesn't lose ground, and is able to go up and make the contested catch.
Perfect touch on that football from C.J. Carr.
Will Lee tried to really jam him at the line of scrimmage, and Malachi Fields just too big for it.
Fresh headed down to the 49. It's Love, and they have got him sniffed out. Loses 3 yards as we go down to KT.
Malachi Fields told me the trust level between him and C.J. Carr, it's a work in progress. When he arrived this summer as a transfer from Virginia, he immediately started working closely with both quarterbacks. He said off the field, they'd go fishing, eat meals together, just trying to develop as much chemistry as possible. And he felt against Miami, the offense left some big plays out there. He wants Carr to be able to trust him, guys.
Yeah, the fishing, Carr said it was really his first time fishing, and Marcus Freeman told us he's as competitive a player that he's ever been around. So we asked him who caught more fish as Carr looks to the outside, feels the pressure. That is in the direction of nobody and not even at the line of scrimmage. Let's see if they throw the flag.
Well, it looked like they were trying to set up a screen pass, but there was very quick penetration by the A&M defense. Watch the linemen kind of try to get out in front of this play like they're setting up a screen. But I don't know, it must have been the receiver that made a mistake. I think Malachi Fields was supposed to be the
Finally, yeah, the flag comes in. That felt like obvious intentional grounding.
Offense, number 13. The ball we placed in the spot of the foul. Loss of down. 3rd down.
Marcel Reed celebrating there.
It didn't cross the line of scrimmage, but I think the mistake was made by Malachi Fields. This was supposed to be a wide receiver screen. It's not there. And C.J. Carr trying to throw it away, but there was nobody that was the primary receiver there.
3rd down.
So again, 3rd and long, this time 3rd and longer. 3rd and 20. Love, delay. Love gets across midfield.
Well, the good thing about that run, it's not close to picking up the first down, but with a good punt, you can flip the field position here and set your defense up. This is only the 3rd punt of the ball game. Each team had 1 in the first half.
A&M tried to have 2.
That's right, A&M had 2. 1 didn't go so well.
That first one was blocked for a touchdown from the Irish special teams unit. Rendell will send this one deep for Concepcion. And this is angling. Does it get a bounce? It does. Notre Dame is there. Down to the 1. Couldn't draw it up any better. The 25-year-old Aussie places it in the perfect spot in the coffin corner. And the Irish set their defense up. Sitting pretty. Well, we know they love their football in the state of Indiana. And last night, St. Joseph High School defeated Marion High School 31-0, a shutout at home. The defense came to play. The offense complements. And a perfect night for St. Joe's. Not 1, not 2, but yeah, that I guess 3. Yeah, let's stop at 3. Le'Veon Moss has 3 touchdowns on the ground for A&M as they lead 28-24.
I know the logic is to run this out, but it's a good chance for they were trying to draw Notre Dame off sides with a hard count, and they moved themselves.
Offense, number 55. Half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
There's Reed Adams.
Watch the quarterback. He's going to go with a hard count. Changes the inflection of his voice, and it was right guard Reed Adams who jumped early. Still think you don't shy away from throwing the football here.
They do. Run it for 2. Huge opportunity for this Notre Dame defense that came out and played their tails off the first couple of drives. But Texas A&M, the last 4 drives, actually 5, they scored on 4 of their last 5 drives in the first half, completely flipped the feeling of this game.
Yeah, really settled in, and really it starts with Marcel Reed just making great decisions, throwing the football, getting chunk plays. Mario Craver 4 receptions over 20 yards in that first half.
Fake it to Moss. Plenty of time for Reed. Here's the shot down the sideline. Separation. And he overthrew Concepcion. He had the step on Christian Gray and would have had a major gain.
That's a good decision. They've got max protection. They keep the tight end in the back end. He got what he wanted. Separation. Safety had a long way to go across the field to try to help Christian Gray. But a little too far on the throw. Concepcion might be a little winded at this play. You might want to look for Mario Craver on this one if you're throwing it.
3rd and 9. They will throw. Reed took a lot of time, nearly picked. Oh, Notre Dame had a huge opportunity at that football, but it's 4th down as Tay Johnson almost had another massive play.
Well, watch Drake Bowen. He's going to come underneath the crossing route. He was looking for Craver. Bowen goes underneath it, and he still tries to force it in that area, and very lucky that this wasn't intercepted. A dangerous throw, good zone coverage by Notre Dame, and now a punt deep in your own end zone for Texas A&M.
And Tyler White's going to have to get creative here. Redshirt sophomore from South Lake, Texas. And he does get it away plenty cleanly. Good hang time, but a lot of space to work with. And let's see what Faison does. Across the 40. Faison still on his feet, and he's finally taken down inside the 30. Great field position for this Notre Dame offense as we check in with a game break. John Fanta.
Back down to Death Valley. DJ Lagway in Florida trying to get a drive going. Deshaun Spears read it all the way. A pick 6 for 58 yards. LSU up 10 halfway through the 3rd.
Tigers starting to pull away a little bit now. Notre Dame trying to pull something for themselves as this offense has gone stagnant.
I remember the great punt and flipping the field, set up by the nice run by Jeremiah Love on 3rd and long, and Notre Dame now in excellent field position inside the 30.
Price is the back on 1st down from the Aggie 29-yard line. Throw it. Carr, good protection, loaded up. Lofts it, end zone, incomplete. Faison the intended target, and tight coverage from Des Ricks.
It was man coverage. A&M going with a run blitz, anticipating run on 1st down, brought inside linebackers. And that's just good coverage downfield by Des Ricks. Really nowhere to go with the football. Good recovery by Ricks on the route. And 2nd and 10 now. Another sudden change situation kind of for this A&M defense to respond to.
Now they're going to split Carr out. Price lined up for the direct snap. Sets up his blocking and dives forward to the 26-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
That was the other corner, Will Lee, making a play on that. That looked like there was going to be some space to run. We saw Ricks on the pass coverage. That time, Will Lee in run support. Watch number 4 come up and get this tackle. I thought there was going to be some space. Will Lee did a nice job taking the legs out from Price.
Notre Dame just 4 of 9 on 3rd down here tonight. Will Pauling, the motion man, still hasn't touched the football. Carr delivers, Pauling the catch, and the extra effort got it. It's a 1st down for the Irish.
Well, they've been waiting for that. This is a guy they were really excited to get from Wisconsin. Nice job by C.J. Carr. There's pressure. They're bringing linebackers. He fakes away from it and gets the ball to Pauling. And in 2 games, that's the first time they've targeted or thrown the ball to Will Pauling.
And how much did we see that at Wisconsin? Just slightly short of the sticks. Let him go and be creative after the catch. Keeps the drive alive. Now a 1st down inside the red zone. Handoff. Price, stutter step. Runs into a wall. Gains maybe a yard. So Price now with 8 carries. Love has 14 carries. The two of them have combined for 94 yards and a touchdown on the ground. Love also had the 36-yard catch and run touchdown in the first half. Only 3 yards rushing so far for Mike Denbrock's offense. Price stays in there, the featured back so far on this drive. Raritan has been a go-to guy for C.J. Carr through 2 games. Play clock down to 3. Handoff. Price to the outside. Gets away. Price all the way. Touchdown. A 17-yard scamper. And Jadarian has done it again.
This is a change at the line of scrimmage by C.J. Carr. They got way down on the play clock, but he made the right run check. Watch the safety. Is unblocked, but he's not going to make the play. Will Pauling, watch the block by number 2, right there, and then a missed tackle by a free safety. And Jadarian Price takes it to the end zone, but it started with C.J. Carr recognizing and changing to that run play at the line of scrimmage.
Good poise from the young QB. Burnett extra point to make it a 3-point game. And he knocks it through. A&M knew that they were going to have their hands full with this running back duo, one of the best in the country, Jeremiah Love and this man, Jadarian Price, weaving his way through the defense to get the Irish back in front. Aerial coverage brought to you by Ford. Ready, set, Ford.
Well, everyone expected Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price to have a bigger role in the offense tonight, including Mike Elko. And he compared this duo last year and this year to a couple guys that he faced when he was the defensive coordinator here in 2017 when Georgia came to play. It was a 20-19 game. He compared them to Sony Michel and Nick Chubb, facing those two. And that's pretty high praise. Michel was a first-round draft pick. Chubb was a second-round draft pick. Both outstanding players at Georgia and in the NFL.
Chubb still rolling.
Yeah.
Now assuming the starting position in Houston with the injury to Joe Mixon currently. This Notre Dame crowd starting to feel it once again. Another one angling, and that one just snuck inside the pylon, so it'll be at the 25-yard line from Diometti. Well, from the crew that brought to The Office comes a new comedy of underdogs with major issues. If you love The Office, you're also going to love The Paper, streaming now on Peacock.
The early report I got on it is it's pretty charming.
That was the direct quote, right?
That was the direct quote.
I mean, Oscar's still in there. Oscar's charming.
Yeah.
Marcel Reed has been charming the Aggie fans over the first couple weeks of the season, and now he's going to try to do the same on the road. First road game of the year for Texas A&M, and he has played well over the last quarter and a half or so of game time.
8 explosive plays so far in the game. Runs of 10 yards or more, passes of 20 yards or more.
Handoff, Moss spun down. Gains 3.5 yards before Bryce Young gets to him.
Bryce Young's an interesting guy. You know, he really flashed last year as a true freshman, as an edge rusher, as a kick blocker. But he's growing. He went from 250 pounds last year to 270 pounds, and he's still kind of learning how to play with that bigger body. They play him outside and inside some, but he is eventually going to be a real every down force for this Notre Dame defense.
And a chance to be an absolute stud. The 3 block kicks really flashed, but he had some sparkling defensive moments as well. Second down and 6 over the middle, and the catch is made by Terry Bussey for a first down of 9.
This is really good work by Marcel Reed because this pocket was collapsing. Notre Dame's going to get good pressure inside. Reed's only 6'1", but he hangs in there, keeps his eyes downfield, doesn't panic, and delivers a nice throw to Bussey. This is a quarterback that is just getting better and growing as a full quarterback, the total package, each time we see him play.
Both running backs in there. Amari Nyblack as well. Taking a shot down the sideline. And again, he overshoots his intended target. That's Nyblack, the man known as Jurassic. But he couldn't quite haul that one in. 6'3", 235, streaking down.
Yeah, Carson Hobbs, the safety or the nickel, was beaten, number 21. And this is one he just needs to put a little bit more air under it. It's not a wide receiver running that route. It's a tight end. just a little more air and allow him to run under the football, but it was a nice play call and design. Just weren't able to execute it.
Are you trying to say that Jurassic arms were too short?
No, just wasn't quite fast enough to get there.
Handoff up the middle, and not much room for Owens to work with. They'll bring up 3rd down and about 6. So here's a big play. We haven't seen a ton of these in the last couple quarters here. Early in the game, Notre Dame did a great job of keeping A&M in 3rd and long, 3rd and medium type of situations. Another chance for their pass rush.
We got Craver in the slot, and he's kind of been the go-to guy. Here's Craver right here, number 1. See how they decide to try to defend him.
They bring some pressure. Incomplete. Just enough to impact the throw from Reed to Craver. Well, Notre Dame gets the stop.
Billy Amuasa is the guy who made this play. Watch 27. As this route comes here, he's going to drop right underneath it. Notre Dame anticipating they're going to go to Craver. Watch 27 drop underneath the route and force the errant throw. Well-designed defensive set, and it forces the punt by A&M.
The man that got some penetration, no surprise, number 5 in blue, Boubacar Traore. So Tyler White will try to punt this and get his defense slightly better field position, but a flag first, and Notre Dame's pointing towards the Aggies.
False start. Offense, number 25. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Dalton Brooks.
Yeah, that's not a critical penalty unless A&M for some reason had a fake punt on, which would be off now. Doesn't change the task in front of Tyler White very much.
SEC all freshman last year. Had 25 punts, getting down inside the 20, and coming into this game, 3 of his 9 as well. Another flag is down. This punt will bounce out of bounds just inside the 25. 2 flags came down on the play.
Could get this 5 yards back. It might have been Notre Dame lined up off sides on this one. We'll
Legal formation, kicking team, 5 or more players in the backfield. That 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the kick. 1st down.
So Notre Dame will take it from the 29-yard line as opposed to the 24. And C.J. Carr in this offense will look to extend what is now a 3-point Irish lead here at home on NBC.
Play.
Now
that Arkansas matchup for Notre Dame is not going to be an easy task going to Fayetteville.
It's a tough place to play. It's a tough place to get to. And it's a noon game, which would mean 11 a.m. Central Time. Kickoff for Notre Dame on the road.
So this drive from the 29. Love is back in there. They featured Price on the previous drive, and he scored his 2nd touchdown of the evening. Love up to 55 yards on the ground and 50 through the air. Throw it on 1st down. Carr lofts, perfect. Right in the pocket for Malachi Fields out of bounds.
Well, Malachi does a great job of selling the go route. Watch him get this corner to turn and run. And once he creates that separation, it's an easy throw by the boundary for the 1st down. But you got to get that guy thinking you're running deep. And he got Will Lee to bite on that, and then it was an easy throw and catch for the 1st down.
Look, Will Lee is an outstanding player, but Malachi Fields goes up against Leonard Moore every day in practice. Now again, they're going to split Carr out wide. It's Love set to take the snap.
I wonder if they have a pass off of this at all.
It feels like at some point that's what they're trying to tee up for themselves.
I mean, normally you would use that near the goal line, not out in the middle part of the field, but it also feels like in the run game, A&M is kind of particularly locked into Love and maybe not so much for Jadarian Price, who's had a little bit more running room when his number has been called.
Again, good balance from Mike Denbrock. 21 passes from Carr up to 208, a touchdown and an interception. Love has carried it 15 times. Price has carried it 9. 2nd and 7. Carr outside, and Raritan makes the grab, hangs on right at midfield.
A very manageable third down situation. However, Malachi Fields kind of hobbled off the field on that play, so he won't be available on this third down critical play at midfield.
We saw them go to Pauling on the last third down conversion on the previous drive. The veteran Micah Gilbert is going to go in now, the true freshman from Charlotte, who had a touchdown in the first game against Miami, and there is Fields getting worked on.
You have a condensed set. Now it's going 2 by 2. Pauling and Raritan to the boundary.
Hand it. Love had to find a way, and he is going to be so close. Initially looked short, and the initial spot is a yard shy. Dalton Brooks made the tackle, and now you wonder how aggressive Marcus Freeman wants to be.
Well, the last time you punted the football, it paid off for you, right? You pinned him back deep, you got the ball back, you scored the go-ahead touchdown. Maybe you try to go a hard count, move some motion, try to get a free 5 yards and a free first down here.
You could be willing to take that delay of game if you're planning on punting it anyway. Again, they split out Carr. It's Love, 4th and 1. They will snap it. Love will run it, and he won't get there. Not even close. Big time play made by Sanford to get in the backfield and deny the star back. Going back to the well one too many times. Sanford read it like a book, and Notre Dame is sent away. Time now for progressive game flow.
Well, first of all, right here, this is Sanford. He's the guy who's going to make the play, but the problem with the direct snap, you have 7 blockers and they have 8 defenders. Sanford, who's in there for the injured Scooby Williams, gets into the backfield unblocked. You take your quarterback and you put him out here. You don't want him to, he's not going to get a block. He's not going to do anything, but you lose that extra blocker. If you have a quarterback run, then you have a lead blocker in a back. But when you put your quarterback out there, you don't have enough blockers.
Great field position. Concepcion on the screen. 11-yard gain. So exactly what Notre Dame did so well after the punt. Played the field position game, got the ball back. Great return from Faison. Knock it through with a touchdown. Now it's the polar opposite, where you don't get it on 4th and a short 1.5. Now you put them after one play into plus territory at the 40.
Yep. And a game like this, it's going to go all the way deep in the 4th quarter. Field position is monumental.
Moss and Morrow. Now it's Morrow who will split into the slot. First down throw. Reed, plenty of time. Rainbow caught. Concepcion, another first down.
Well, I just like the way Marcel Reed looks throwing the ball out of the pocket. He looks comfortable. He looks relaxed. He's got good footwork, good balance. And he's really good throwing these out-breaking routes.
Braver and Concepcion, 10 of the 12 Marcel Reed completions. They've combined for 255 of the 288 passing yards. Ruben Owens is now the back. First down inside the 30. Reverse. Bussey couldn't get away. Now he does, but still shy of the line of scrimmage as he gets pounded out of bounds.
The question was, it looked pretty close. I mean, Bowen hit him. If he had 1 foot still in bounds, it could be legal. Bowen's going to come from right here. It's the reverse. A&M fans who are here are calling for a personal foul. Yeah, I think he was trying to throw the football first, but there was pressure was there. And that was very close to being a late hit.
It was almost bang bang. I think that's probably the right call not to put the flag down. He didn't step down yet. That foot was still up. Legal hit. 2nd and 9. Play clock all the way down. Handoff up the middle. And Moss bounces off some blockers and then disappears into the pile.
This is a big play in the ball game. We're still in the 3rd quarter. Winding down the final minute and 25 seconds of the 3rd quarter. But a big opportunity for both teams. Notre Dame to get a stop, force a field goal attempt. A&M could possibly be thinking 2-down territory if they gain positive yards on this 3rd down, but a chance to tie the game at the very least.
already in toward field goal range, but a 3rd down and 6. Craver, the motion man. Notre Dame comes with some pressure, picked up well. Reed directing traffic, uncorks, nobody home. Hobbs was with Craver, and Reed just had to put it in a spot that was going to be out of danger.
Well, this is good discipline now. Watch Boubacar, number 5, just kind of come out here. These two guys just keeping their eyes on the quarterback, not letting him become a runner, trusting that they've got it covered behind him, but not letting Marcel Reed get loose and run for a 1st down there.
So now it'll be a 44-yard attempt for Randy Bond, who missed from 52 at the very end of the 1st half. He struggles generally from this distance. White the hold, the kick. It's good. Bond bangs it through to tie the game at 31.
A&M capitalizes on the stop by their defense. Get the stop on 4th and 1 and get points on the other end. Take advantage of the field position switch. And we got a 31-31 ball game about to move into the 4th quarter.
And to go back to the decision by Marcus Freeman to go for it, a wildcat for Jeremiah Love doesn't get there. It was a good drive defensively for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
They did a good job of keeping Marcel Reed and his weapons in front, but just a couple plays gets them right in the field goal range, and now a tie game, and to your point, a game that you expect to come down to the final minutes.
Yeah. And again, in a game like that, field position for the rest of this game is going to be monumental. Who can maintain that edge? Field position, turnovers, both teams with 1 at this point. Those are the things that decide a game in the 4th quarter, and that's what Mike Elko said. You know, are we at a point where we can go on the road at night in a place like this and make the plays required to win a game down the stretch? We're going to find out in the next 15 minutes and 44 seconds.
It'll be their first top 10 win on the road in quite some time, over a decade since they did it against number 3 Auburn. Price is going to take it from the 3. Finds a crease, gets across the 30 and down to the 34. Well, they're going to continue to lead on the running backs, and probably a good idea with the way they've played tonight.
Yeah, Jadarian Price with that return, and both of them are effective. Now, Jadarian Price is having more room to run than Jeremiah Love, but Jeremiah Love is such a weapon and an asset in the passing game as well. We knew they'd have a bigger role in the game tonight than they did in Miami, and that has certainly paid off, and I would expect it to continue all the way to the end of this football game.
They'll rock with Price here from the 35. A&M trying to get there. They didn't, and it's put in the bucket. Jaden Greathouse out of bounds just shy of the 30. The perfect placement again from Carr against the zone, and Greathouse does the rest.
Yeah, Greathouse runs. He's right here in the slot. He's going to kind of run this route and look over his inside shoulder. And they kind of lose track of him, and a beautiful throw by C.J. Carr right in the middle of 3 defenders.
They don't have to snap it here, but they look like they've got a little urgency.
Greathouse, who was outstanding down the stretch last year.
Price. First down.
Really nice job by the left tackle on this play. Kind of getting a late block. Anthony Knapp. 2 excellent plays in a row to end the 3rd quarter for the Irish offense.
We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. You're watching Notre Dame football on NBC, presented by Discover. All even to the 4th.
Cusp of a big upset.
That would be massive stuff in the SEC. This one doesn't necessarily mean as much in terms of the SEC standings, but for Texas A&M, it could be huge if they find a way in this final 15 minutes. Rock fight last year in College Station, but we've got a seesaw of offense so far tonight.
Yeah, we talked about, both coaches talked about how important explosive plays would be. Runs of 10 yards or plus, passes of 20 yards or plus, creating them with your offense, limiting them with your defense. A&M had the upper hand the first half, +2. But in that 3rd quarter, Notre Dame, 4 explosive plays, 0 for the Aggies. So 31-31 game, and Notre Dame's offense moving right now with some momentum.
DJ Carr just his second start, first one here at home, and for the most part he's looked pretty good. A couple mistakes, but overall positive play.
A couple mistakes, but I mean he looks confident. He's throwing the ball well, under pressure, throwing well on first down, and he's doing a nice job of distributing the football.
So it'll be a first down right at the red zone from the 20. And Love is back in there. Fake it to him. Rush came. Threw it towards Love. Nearly picked. Oh, Cassius Howe dropped back in coverage and almost had a highlight diving backward.
Well, and the reason that ball was short is because there was an inside blitz, and C.J. Carr's not going to have time to make this throw because he beats Howe. But he can't get enough on this throw to get it far enough for his receiver, and Cassius Howe almost comes down with the interception. That's the difference between Howe and the edge guys they had a year ago. He has that ability to drop into coverage as well.
He's feeling it after the play, so Price is back in there now. Has the football, and he gets swallowed up. DJ Hicks, big man in the middle at 6'3", 295.
Yeah, what a move inside. Again, watch Hicks right here, number 5, just going to beat the left guard and get into the backfield. Just rips right through the left guard and left tackle. And another tackle for loss for this A&M defense.
8th tackle for loss for this Aggies defense. They hang their hat up front, and they have delivered. Now a 3rd down and 11 for the Irish. Showing 6. They bring 4. Carr, sideline, Fields, out of bounds. Will Lee again.
Yep, good position by Will Lee. I mean, he's stride for stride with Malachi Fields, the boundary receiver. Pushes him to the sideline. I mean, there's just no room to throw the football. You can't play man coverage any better than that.
So Noah Burnett, who's made a field goal from 22, will come out this one from 39. He made one from 39 yards out week 1 at Miami. And we'll try to give Notre Dame a 3-point lead. And the transfer from North Carolina with a curveball. Gets it to go, 34-31. Notre Dame gets points in the first minute of this 4th quarter. Back to A&M next. Notre Dame football is brought to you by Jersey Mike Sub. Be a sub above. By T-Mobile. And by Allstate. You're in good hands. Well, tonight's game, 6th straight game against an AP-ranked opponent. Ties a school record for Notre Dame. Started at the college football playoff first round with Indiana, then Georgia, Penn State. Lost in the national championship game to Ohio State. Week 1 at Miami, and now here they are against number 16 Texas A&M with a 3-point lead and 14:01 remaining at home.
And again, this 4th quarter is going to come down to which one of these two defenses can get a critical stop. It may only take one. Both offenses have had a nice blend of run and pass.
And another touchback here will start this Aggie drive from the 25.
The first half, it was a hot connection that Marcel Reed had with Mario Craver. Some big plays. He had 4 catches of over 20 yards in that first half. He was targeted 9 times, 6 catches for 173 yards and a touchdown. But they did not connect at all in the 3rd quarter. I would expect to see Marcel Reed look for him more here in the final 14 minutes of this game.
Only 1 target in this second half to Craver. You see the massive numbers from the first 2 quarters, 173 and the touchdown of 86 yards. He's in motion on first down. They're looking that way, firing that way, and just skipped it to him.
A little confusion that time, but Notre Dame is not happy with the way they covered that motion and the switch release. They got away with it on the incomplete pass. But there's a little confusion there between Christian Gray and Carson Hobbs, number 21, involved in that coverage. Hobbs is in there as the nickel back.
2nd and 10. Miscommunication. Reed's going to take it himself. And he gets walloped. Reed is down. He took a shot from a Don Schuler.
He did, again.
Remember, he left the game last week in the 3rd quarter against Utah State. Reed went down low.
On the field due to a player injury.
And they will check on their starting quarterback as Miles O'Neill is up and starting to warm up on the A&M sideline. Back here, and they are looking at the last hit on Marcel Reed, who heads to the medical tent for a potential targeting on a Don Schuler. It looks like Kyle Olsen's taken off the headset, and they do have a conclusion to this decision. Let's listen in.
After video review, targeting by number 8 defense. It's a 15-yard penalty from the spot. Automatic first down. Number 8 is disqualified from the game.
Let's bring in Terry McCauley. Terry, what do you see?
Yeah, I really don't see it that way, Noah. He does lower his head. He does lead with the crown. It's defenseless. But you have to have clear and obvious evidence that he makes forcible contact with that 6-inch radius at the top of his helmet. And certainly there is contact with the helmet. It's just not clear and obvious to me. It's supposed to be for them to create targeting. I don't think they should have.
I don't either.
So the key here, he gets disqualified. He can stay on the sideline, not ejected. But Schuler, who is the vocal leader of this defense in the back line, he was the most vocal guy through the bye week, a captain as a sophomore.
And instead of 3rd and 7 for the new quarterback, it's 1st and 10. So we see Miles O'Neill now is a bigger quarterback, 6'5", 220.
And as expected, they hand it off. Moss is going to get a yard. O'Neill did throw an interception last week. He's got a big arm. They do believe in him moving forward as a redshirt freshman. And Marcel Reed was out of the tent, and very quickly he's going to get back on the field. So Schuler will have to watch from the side. Tolich is in the game, who's his backup, junior from Cody, Wyoming. And it brings up a 2nd down and a long 8. Moss has been relatively quiet outside of the 3 close-range touchdowns. Reed through his progression, uncorks. He's got it on the comeback. Terry Bussey stays on his feet, gets spun down inside the 40.
I asked Colin Klein before the game, what are the best routes that Marcel Reed throws? Says he throws the fade ball well, he throws the corner route, and he really loves to throw the dig route, the deep in, and that's what that was right there. Good protection, clean pocket, and he drives that dig route in for a big conversion.
Reed has had over 600 yards of total offense coming into this game. He's up over 300 yards passing here tonight to go with a touchdown on the pick. 29 yards on the ground. He's only run it 5 times. Handoff. Moss slips through and then just gets leveled by Jason Onye.
Credit this A&M offensive line, because as much man-to-man as Notre Dame plays, the Irish have not been able to create much pressure on Marcel Reed. They've flushed him out of the pocket a few times, but they haven't been able to get him on the ground or sack him, and that's why he's thrown for 306 yards. A lot of big plays.
It hasn't been Craver in this 2nd half, but he's the one to watch out for. Number 1, and that's got to be movement on some side. A&M's pointing to one side, but it looks like it's going back.
Well, Notre Dame moved first.
False start. Offense, number 84. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Nyblack, number 84, is going to be the guy they called the penalty, because he moved before they touched the Notre Dame defender. If the Notre Dame guy's in the neutral zone and they touch him, it's going to be a foul on Notre Dame. But they are able to get back to their side of the ball, but Nyblack moved, and therefore the 5-yard penalty on the Aggies.
So now 2nd down and 12, back at the 39. Craver, the motion man. Reed steps up, evades. Reed across his body, short, looking for Nyblack, and it's 3rd and 12.
Well, again, another nice job by Kingston Viliamu-Asa, who's kind of the spy in this situation. Here he is right here. Watch him. He's just going to go with the quarterback, read him, and just try to stay parallel with him. He's not going to attack him. He's just staying parallel with him, and he's athletic enough to do that. You know, the problem with having a spy on a quarterback like this is he's got to be fast enough to catch him and get him on the ground if he needs to.
You see A&M 0 for 3 on third down in this half. Play clock under 5. 3rd and 12, handoff. Moss has some space, and Moss has the first down. They caught the Notre Dame defense sleeping. Tolich had to track him down, but he gains 13.
Well, they caught him out of position. Watch, there's going to be a blitz, and watch Bryce Young. He's going to go too far inside. He's got to set the edge of the defense. That's his responsibility to set the edge. He doesn't do it. And a nice read by Le'Veon Moss.
It's close before that knee goes down, but it looks like where the football was just based on that yellow line, which is unofficial. Looked like he was right at the line of gain. Marcus Freeman's frustration starting to boil over. Started with the targeting call against Adon Schuler, which he vehemently disagreed with. And now playing without one of their leaders defensively, with Reed back in the game. Moss stays out there, and it is a fresh set of downs, knocking on the door of the red zone. Another flag. This would be the 10th A&M penalty tonight.
False start. Offense. Right guard. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Well, they call it right guard, but it looks like right tackle. Yeah.
I think it's 78 rather than 55.
It's number 78 of the offense.
I don't know. Have you ever heard them call out just a position other than everybody but the center? Yeah, I'm not sure I've ever heard that. Either way, they do get it right. It's Crownover's 4th penalty of the night. 1st and 15. And Notre Dame's trying to get a late sub in.
Well, they should be able to, because there was a late sub out of the formation. Yep, so they're giving them time. There was a late sub out by A&M, and Notre Dame smartly makes a sub themselves.
Handoff, Moss stood up, gains 3, tripped up by Gabriel Rubio.
And that's the guy they subbed in. They looked at it and said, this is probably going to be a run. Let's get a bigger run stopper in the game. And Rubio got the stop.
Saw that last week in East Lansing, where Boston College didn't get the opportunity to substitute in overtime, had to use a timeout. So A&M, big drive here, already in field goal range, looking for more on 2nd and 11.
And coverage look.
Reed feeling the pressure, steps up, knocked down at the line. It's Rubio again with the right hand.
Well, that's one of the problems with Marcel Reed being a 6'1" quarterback. When there's bodies and arms around here, kind of hard to get that throw over. Nice job by Rubio, knowing he couldn't get the sack, but doing the next best thing, getting the knockdown on the throw.
Viliamu-Asa actually had a chance on the ricochet. He got an arm on that football before it hit the ground. Leads to 3rd and 11, the 10th play of the drive. Reed, deep drop. Reed slings, incomplete. Mellon from the intended target. Perfect pressure from Notre Dame, and they do force the 4th down.
Well, Rubio has had a heck of a drive here. Watch him on this one. He's going to start inside and loop outside, and watch 97 just help contain the quarterback. Keep him in your sights. Do your job. Hem him in, send him back inside and force the throw away. That's a good job by a guy well over 300 pounds on that pass play.
They are relying on Randy Bond from 45 yards. Won the job back this week, and proving why with back-to-back makes from 40 plus. First one was from 43, this one 45, ties the game up at 34 apiece with just over 9 to play. Bond making it happen. A&M evening up on the road. at the United Cam here in South Bend, all even at 34. The expectation was that it was going to be a battle. It has delivered as such. After a close game last year, let's not forget, these two teams were all tied up at 13 apiece with 5 minutes remaining, and it was Notre Dame that came away with big plays. Riley Leonard leading the team in the offense down the field. Jeremiah Love the touchdown. The defense gets a stop. They kick a field goal for insurance and win that game by 10. But that easily could have gone the Aggies' way.
Yep, sure was. It was a close, hard-fought game all the way. 2 explosive plays, couple runs, one by Price, one by Love, and 2 forced turnovers by the Notre Dame defense. Really the difference in that ball game.
A&M looking for their revenge here in South Bend. Notre Dame looking for its first win of the season, and a critical one at that for future college football playoff hopes. This drive will start from the 25.
C.J. Carr, remember, only making his second start. His numbers pretty good. I mean, he's thrown the ball well. He's made some plays, but he's also had some, what are you doing kind of moments as well. This interception looped into the middle. The clap that drew the snap right before the half, they were able to recover it, and then the near interception under pressure, couldn't get it over the head of Cassius Howe. And with this much time left in this kind of a ball game, he just can't afford to have another critical mistake.
Marcus Freeman called him a gamer, said he's at his best when the lights are their brightest. Here he is on first down. Couple of pumps over the middle. What a catch. Raritan holds on after taking the hit and gains 13.
See, a wide receiver probably doesn't make that catch, but a big body tight end with a safety right there, that's a different kind of target. And he's able to hold on to the ball. Good job by CJ surveying the field, coming back to Raritan, and he's got great confidence in his big tight end catching the football.
Ratcliffe made the hit. They'll take it here from the 38. Hand it off Love. Hasn't had much room to work with. Gets across the 40, and they'll mark him down to the 41.
Now, he has not had much room, but A&M is bringing a lot of run blitzes. They're bringing linebackers and safeties right up by the line of scrimmage, and the problem with that is there's not much at the second level of the defense, and the speed of Love and Price, if they hit a gap, it could be a big play. So far, A&M has done a nice job of tackling those guys at or near the line of scrimmage.
Carr on 2nd and 7. Rainbow, sideline. Fields trying to make the adjustment. It was tight coverage. The crowd's looking for a flag and won't get it. Des Ricks with him stride for stride.
Got a lot of room because he's on the hash. Tries to throw it to the back shoulder. There's a little bit of a grab by Ricks. Not sure it's enough to draw the penalty. Again, he's a big receiver. It didn't really alter his route. The ball was taking him that way anyway. I don't think that needed to be a call. I think that's a good no call. If he'd have grabbed and turned his body, that would have been different.
And it brings up a 3rd and 7. Pauling the motion man. Carr lets it fly. Open, caught. First down for Fields and a gain of 20.
Again, this is good job, CJ reading the field. He goes to the backside. Fields does a nice job this time staying right by the sideline in between the 2 defenders. CJ Carr started by looking to the right, came back to the left, and found an opening with his big receiver. They didn't connect on 2nd down, but they sure did on 3rd.
And you're seeing the big-time game performance from Carr as he's going to split again. They've gone with this direct snap on several occasions. They're going to do it again to Love. And he sets up the blocking this time, spins his way across the 35 down to the 33.
And good patience that time by Jeremiah Love. They haven't had a lot of success with that run. That time he just kind of waited and allowed his offensive lineman to get in position to make some blocks.
We saw the poise late in the game at Miami for Carr. We're seeing it again. A couple big-time throws already on this drive.
Yeah, led his team to 17 points in the 4th quarter. They were down that whole game. Tied it up before losing on a game-winning field goal in the last seconds.
Love splits. 2nd and 4. Carr, Fields dropped. Just a little bit behind him on the slant, and he was guarded closely again by Ricks.
I mean, that needs to be a catch. I mean, this is a good throw, a good route. Big body receiver gets inside, and he just doesn't secure the catch. Ricks is able to get a hand in there, but that needs to be a catch.
Safe to say that Carr's found his #1 receiver, though. Malachi Fields in this game, 5 catches for 77 yards. Raritan, the tight end, his other go-to at 4 catches, 85. And Jeremiah Love with 4 grabs, 50 yards in the touchdown. 3rd and 4.
Could be a run here in 2-down territory.
It is. It's Love. It's a 1st down.
Just inside zone. Really good job blocking. Really nice job by the right guard, the freshman. Watch right there, number 76 is going to do a nice job just kind of getting onto the linebacker, cutting off the backside linebacker, and allowing Jeremiah Love to get forward for the 1st down. He hasn't had a whole lot of open spaces, but that was a big-time run right there on 3rd down.
20 carries to go with 5 catches. 25 touches for Love. They'll give it to him again. Trying to get to the outside, and he just gets swallowed up by Regis.
Well, and right now, Notre Dame obviously wants to get themselves in a position to retake the lead. They also want to use clock, right? There's 5 minutes and 40 seconds. The clock is running. Both teams have all 3 of their timeouts. But you want to squeeze this clock. You don't want to lose your momentum. So you take your time at the huddle or at the line of scrimmage, but you don't want to lose the edge of coming off the football with aggression. So kind of a fine line, a fine balance for a quarterback to maintain.
Love with a career high in carries. Now it's Price's turn. 66 yards and 2 scores already. Carr over the middle and a tight window again, and it's a positive one. Just fits it in there for Pauling.
And it does a nice job of not panicking. This didn't open up quickly. He's reading left. He's reading left. It doesn't happen. He comes back to the middle. And at the last second, he finds Pauling in the middle of a bunch of white jerseys and gets the ball forward to give you a manageable 3rd down situation.
Both these coaches believe that this game would come down to making plays in the 4th quarter. This is why you go get a veteran like Will Pauling. He can make big plays in big moments, and it sets up a 3rd down and 3. Price, stutter step, and he's short of 1st down yardage. It's going to be 4th and about 1.5 yards, and now the decision. You're well within field goal range, 4:20 and counting remaining.
Now you got to take the lead here. I mean,
it looked like the kicking unit was going to come out. Offense is now staying out there. It's 4th and 1. They're 1 for 3 on 4th down so far today. That included the stop with the direct snap to Love most recently.
They may let this clock go down. Nope.
Love is in there. Play clock already to 7. It's Love. Up the middle, he's got it.
Wow.
If at first you don't succeed, try again. And Mike Denbrock calls his best player's number in the biggest moment to keep the drive alive.
Well, I was a little surprised because they hadn't had a whole lot of success, but they cut off the backside. And you're right, give the ball to your best player and see if he can make it happen. Nice cutoff block by Ty Washington, number 7. And Jeremiah Love runs with toughness in between the tackles.
And Todd, you brought up milking the clock. This drive started with 9:06 remaining. 6 minutes already off the clock. Well within field goal range. Now can they punch it in? Love bursts through the hole. Stays on his feet. Love, touchdown, 12 yards out, and Love is in the air in South Bend.
No, it was a 21-yard Jeremiah Love touchdown run last year that was the difference in the ball game. This one not as far, but maybe just as critical.
What a drive orchestrated by the young quarterback, C.J. Carr. Critical extra point from Burnett to make it a 7-point game. Buckner has to pick it up. The quarterback with some time, no look and incomplete, and a huge issue. Keeps it at a 6-point game.
Good snap. Just a bad attempt to hold. But the go-ahead touchdown, watch the block by Raritan and watch the left tackle. They get a double team here. Now watch Knapp come off on the second level, get the linebacker. That's just well done. Left guard and left tackle and the tight end working together. And Jeremiah Love doing his thing on 4th down and 1st down as the Irish take the lead.
But how massive is that missed snap? It was a proper snap, just not handled by Buckner, the veteran who's played in a lot of football games, played in lacrosse games in a Notre Dame uniform. Joseph Vinci, the freshman, put it in the right spot, and Buckner couldn't get it down in time. So now keeps it at a 6-point game, 2:53 remaining, all 3 timeouts for A&M, plus the 2-minute timeout. And if Mike Elko wanted to see if his team could come up with a big win against a top 10 team on the road, now's the time to see what they're made of. Bussey sets up the blocking. Bussey down the sideline. And the speed is going to get him there. Touchdown. Flag is down. Back at the 29-yard line. Bussey and the A&M side tempered expectations and will wait for the penalty. There's a collective holding of breath in this stadium.
During the return, holding, return team, number 17. 10-yard penalty, it's 1st down.
It is the Swedish tight end, Theo Mellon Orstrom, who's just learning how to properly block, and a just critical mistake in a critical moment.
Yeah, I'm not even sure where he is. I mean, just
right there in the middle. Yeah, right there, takedown.
Oh yeah, there we go, right there.
It actually didn't even impact the play all that much.
You know, Notre Dame has been kicking away from the returners all night, right to the corners. They got the penalty on one. That time they kick away, and Bussey almost makes them regret that decision.
So another sudden change in emotion more than anything else. The drive will be from the 25-yard line. Make it the 26 officially. Hand off Moss up the middle. And he'll keep the legs churning as he spins away and dragged down at the 29. Take another look at the hold.
Oh, right here. There it is, right there, right in the middle of the return. Really an unfortunate penalty for A&M. I mean, that was a great return by Bussey and negated by the penalty.
Empty set for Reed. Quick throw over the middle, the first catch of the second half, and the major speed. Craver already puts him close to field goal range. The catch and run gets him over 200 yards for the night. 34 through the air.
Yards after the catch. It's just a quick route. Get him the ball about 6 yards deep and let him run away from defenders.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
And he runs away from Carson Hobbs, number 21.
5 receptions of 20-plus yards for Craver. He has put his offense in business. 6-point game, 2 minutes left. Look at the upcoming schedule presented by Discover. Maryland and Wisconsin next Saturday at noon. Our triple header continues with Purdue and Notre Dame here in South Bend. And then a huge showdown in Bloomington. Number 9, Illinois. Number 22, Indiana. Tyler Buckner is hoping that his defense can make sure that his mistake doesn't cost his team the game. He fumbled the snap on the extra point. 6-point Notre Dame lead. A&M has it, 1st down from the Irish 37.
Lots of time, 2 minutes and 3 timeouts.
Moss gains 4. It's been a long time since Texas A&M has taken down a ranked opponent, especially an opponent in the top 10. You go back to November of 2014, as they beat number 3 Auburn. And when we talked to Mike Elko yesterday, that was what he said about this game. He's like, everybody is, billing this game for what it is. His viewpoint is the kids are confident they can go on the road and do something that this program hasn't done in over a decade. This is their chance. Reed, play action, fading away. Tough catch. Mellon Orstrom, who had the hold on the kick return, is going to have the first down here.
And nice job hanging on to football, taking a big hit. Good job by Reed extending the play under pressure.
First down from the 25. Reed outside. Another catch for Mellon Orstrom, and he does get out of bounds to stop the clock.
Remember now, Notre Dame without Adon Schuler in the game. They've got a couple backup guys in there. Carson Hobbs is playing nickel.
We've seen Leonard Moore and Christian Gray at times go to the sideline with injuries. They're both out there at their respective cornerback spots. 2nd and 8. Reed delivers. Nobody home. Looked like Craver might have slipped.
Pretty good pressure by Botello that time for Notre Dame. Third and 8. Obviously 2-down territory. Field goal does you no good here if you're A&M.
Reed escapes. He's quick to the outside. He's got the first down. They have done such a great job of containing his legs all night, but when it matters most, Reed goes to default mode.
Well, Boubacar Traore is going to get too far upfield. He's going to get way up here, and Marcel Reed sees it right away. There's grass. Botello can't get him, and he uses that speed and instincts to get the first down. Great decision by Marcel Reed, taking advantage of the bad rush lane by Boubacar Traore.
Handoff up the middle. Daniels stumbles forward to the 11, and they'll mark him down at the 10. Mike Elko knew this game would come down to these moments. And a timeout is called here. A&M had 3 to work with, so 53 seconds remaining. You can get a first down at the 4-yard line. Tyler Buckner is just trying to keep his defense at the top of mind and hoping that they can deliver, because you look at the crazy special teams plays over the course of this game. This was the botch snap on the extra point. The complete 180 of how this game feels right now is a 7-point game versus the 6. Buckner tried to make something happen and just couldn't connect with his intended target. And then on the kick return, Terry Bussey thought that he had one going to the house, but Theo Mellon Orstrom gets called for the hold.
You know, the crazy thing, though, if you're Notre Dame, it might have been better had they returned the kick for a touchdown. Sure. You would have at least gotten the ball back with over 3 minutes to play, or before the 2-minute timeout. As it is now, if you get the ball back, it's going to be with very little time.
He'll focus on getting the stop first. Yep. Amari Daniels stays in there as the back, 5th-year senior from Miami. And this one's blown dead. Another one. 12th penalty on A&M.
Snap infraction. Offense, number 54. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Last year in College Station, Notre Dame had 11 penalties, I think, for 93 yards. So the penalties for the road team, a problem. There's the snap. He kind of scooted the ball, a little hitch.
That's actually the backup center that's in there, Coley Fail. And now Notre Dame got in the neutral zone, and Traore is again pointing to A&M.
Yeah, Basanti, the left guard, I think, moved this time.
And you see what Mike Elko just said.
Offense, number 71, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Mike Elko said they're clapping. That's what he was trying to argue, and that's why he thinks that his players are jumping, but it doesn't, I don't see a clap anywhere.
No, I didn't either.
Right now, the Aggies have nobody to blame but themselves for 13 penalties to set them up with a 2nd and 16. Reed with time. And Reed's going to have to throw it away. Patience from Bryce Young before he made his pursuit.
And Craver got tangled up and ended up on the ground, and that's why Reed had to throw it
to the
away.
ground, and the quarterback was outside the pocket.
Well, if you're Chris Ash here, 3rd and long, do you play safe? Do you try to get pressure? Too deep safety look right now would suggest some kind of zone.
Craver in motion, 3rd and 16. Reed whips, caught, short with a flag. Concepcion made the grab at the 10, and now we wait for the penalty.
Now they're saying incomplete pass, but the penalty thrown in the area of pass interference.
We wait for Kyle Olsen. You see Christian Gray looking puzzled.
Holding, defense, number 6. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
He's working on Craver. It's a little return route, and you can see Craver trying to get back outside, and that's clearly holding on Christian Gray.
And what was 3rd and 16 becomes an automatic first down.
Well, we've seen penalties hurt A&M. That one really critical that goes against the Irish, and a good call on the penalty.
Reed, design keeper, nowhere to go, and stayed in bounds.
Yeah, they're going to have to use a timeout.
And he's feeling it after the hit again. Jalen Sneed.
Timeout. Texas A&M. They're 2nd of the half.
Made the tackle.
34 seconds.
So 2nd down upcoming. Look, for A&M at this point, initially you could have said you keep your 3 timeouts, try to score, or if you don't get the score, then you still have the 3 timeouts to get the ball back. At this point now, you know this is the game. You're going end zone at some point over the next 34 seconds.
Right. But if you're Reed, you get out of bounds on that play. I mean, you're not gaining any yards. Get out of bounds and save the timeouts for a more critical situation.
Big time. C.J. Carr, his defense couldn't come through at Miami after he led the team down the field to tie the game. They gave up a field goal, little time left for Carr and the offense, and they couldn't muster anything up against a fierce Hurricanes pass rush. Now it's A&M's turn. Can they break the hearts of the Irish and send them to an 0-2 start following their run to the national championship game last year?
Craver is lined up against Christian Gray. They've got kind of a stock right here. Christian Gray is going to probably take Craver in this situation.
Reed, deep drop. Reed floats, end zone, incomplete. It was available for Hobbs. He just couldn't squeeze it.
You know, that's like one of those where you get a great hitter in baseball to foul pop one and you drop it and you think, oh no, we had our chance. Good pressure on the inside by Bryce Young, forced the throw, and he threw it into traffic, and Notre Dame not able to capitalize.
Third and goal. Reed keeps his eyes downfield. Down the middle, short, and incomplete. Mellon Oyster on the target. Hobbs there in coverage. It's 4th and goal, 19 seconds, and here's your ball game.
Yep, good pressure that time, forced the throw, and this is it.
Will it be a signature win for Mike Elko? Or will Marcus Freeman's team get their first victory in 2025? Time to find out. And Marcus Freeman will take a timeout.
Timeout. Notre Dame.
Well, this timeout works for both teams. It allows A&M to make sure they know exactly what they want, what the play call is. It helps Notre Dame because they saw the formation that play. May not be the same, but even more importantly than that, it allows their pass rushers to catch a break right now, get a drink of water, and try to be able to crank it up for one last play.
Just think about what this means for both teams. We've talked about the level of exhale that A&M might feel with a win against a top 10 foe on the road. But for Notre Dame, you lose this game, you go to 0-2, and any control you might feel you have to get back to the college football playoff completely vanishes.
Yeah, it would be a very difficult path for that to happen if you go to 0-2. Both teams have played valiantly. Both quarterbacks have made plays all night. But we said, which defense could come up with a critical stop in the fourth quarter? And this is the opportunity right now for Notre Dame to do that.
It'll be a 4th and goal. Craver has been the go-to guy for A&M with 207 yards and a touchdown.
And I think that's the key point. They are on the 12-yard line, but it's 4th and goal. This has to go to the end zone. I mean, it can be a catch and run, but there is no first down to gain without scoring a touchdown.
Let's decide a winner. 4th in the game. Reed, rush comes. Reed pumps, fires. It is caught. Nate Borkacher brings it in and ties the game.
He was working in man coverage against Drake Bowen. And Borkacher, the blocking tight end, makes the catch of the ball game for A&M.
They will confirm it before the extra point. Marcel Reed, clutch. 13 plays down the field in 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And now Randy Bond can put the Aggies in front with an extra point. And he's got it.
There's no way that Borkacher was the main target on this play. He's the blocking tight end, spent 5 years in Nebraska, but he's going to release out and be single coverage with Bowen. And watch Marcel Reed. He's looking inside first. He kind of clutches it, and at the last minute gives his big tight end a chance. And Borkacher comes through. Throw on the run, give the big body tight end a chance. And what a finish to a drive by the Aggies.
It was Drake Bowen in coverage. And the Irish fans hoping for a prayer. Take one more look at the middle of this play as the Irish try to get home. Maybe a slight hold there on the takedown.
There's a tackle.
Donovan
That's
Heinisch.
holding. Donovan Heinisch was held by Chase Basantas, number 71. It wasn't called. And Marcel Reed made a heck of a play.
And Tyler Buckner, the veteran, former starting quarterback, usually so reliable as the holder, couldn't handle the snap on the extra point. And his team now 13 seconds left, trails by 1. A wild game that's deserved a wild finish. Does Notre Dame have something special here? A little pooch kick. It'll bounce and be taken on the hop by Williams. He'll just survey towards the outside and go out of bounds with 31 seconds left. So Notre Dame does have 2 timeouts here with 11 seconds remaining. You figure they're going to have to get as close as possible, and obviously a field goal would win the game for them. So you can take the shot over the middle of the field. But again, it comes back to the poise of C.J. Carr, your young quarterback, trying to make it happen.
Well, you can't hold it very long. I mean, 11 seconds, you maybe have time for 2 throws and a field goal attempt, but if you hang on to the ball too long, it's 1 throw and then a Hail Mary.
Got to figure Marcus Freeman's going to stay close to the officials. Carr looking, taking a lot of time. Over the middle, he rips. Incomplete. He threw it in triple coverage. Another takedown that Notre Dame fans are begging for the flag as Fields hit the deck before the ball got there.
But again, because he held the ball so long, I think he just tripped. I don't think that was a penalty. I think their feet got tangled up. He threw it into triple coverage, but it took so long. Now you only have 1 shot, and that's throw it as far as you can.
Carr over the middle. Greathouse leaves it for Faison. Now back to Jeremiah Love, and he's going to go out of bounds. This game is over. Texas A&M gets a signature road win under Mike Elko. They announce to the nation they have arrived with a 41-40 victory over Notre Dame. Let's go down to KT.
Coach, you told us a key to victory tonight would be making the key plays down the stretch. Your team executed a phenomenal game-winning drive. What can you say about the effort they put in tonight?
Yeah, unbelievable. Marcel Reed, our 2 wide receivers, Mario and KC, just kept making plays. Nate Borkacher makes an unbelievable play. You know, geez, we didn't play great, but we made all the plays we needed to make to win the game.
Was that the designed play to get it to Borkacher on that one?
Yeah, we kind of thought that's where it would go because we knew they would double the 2 slots, and so we got him one-on-one in the corner, and he came down and made a heck of a play.
What does a win like this on the road tell you about where your team is right now?
Yeah, it's the next step. It's the next step. We're a 3-0 football team. We got a lot of big games left. That's what it's like playing in this league, but we had to go on the road at night and beat a ranked team, and we did that tonight.
Coach, thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
The next step indeed for Mike Elko, and that feels like the biggest takeaway from this game. Certainly Notre Dame's going to be kicking themselves for some missed opportunities, but a lot of praise deserved for this A&M football team and the way that they've gotten revenge for last year's loss.
Absolutely, and like Mike Elko said, they made the plays down the stretch. I know Tyler Buckner feels awful. Remember the holding penalty on Christian Gray with 3rd and 16, gave him an automatic first down, but A&M just battled all the way through, and now for A&M, they go home, they have a bye week, and then 3 straight home games in the SEC against Auburn, Mississippi State, and Florida.
It is all in front of Mike Elko's team. Borkacher, the hero, the Nebraska transfer, delivers at the end, and Marcel Reed, 360 yards, 2 touchdowns. This was the critical play late in the 4th quarter. Tyler Buckner couldn't handle the snap on the extra point, keeps Notre Dame up by just 6. And then it was Reed put in the right spot, found his tight end, capped off a 13-play, 74-yard drive with a touchdown. And the quarterback, who has taken such incredible strides, leads to the extra point that puts the Aggies up for good with 13 seconds remaining. Marcus Freeman, for the 2nd time in his head coaching career at Notre Dame, starts 0-2. And the Aggie fans that made the trip to South Bend were treated to a fun one, a good one, and a positive one. The Aggies go home 3-0. Coming up next, except on the West Coast, your local news for Catherine Tappan, TV, Terry McCauley, our entire crew. I'm Noah Eagle saying so long, South Bend.